All right, are we live here? Here's a bit of a delay. Yes, looks like we're live. All right. All right. All right, happy Sunday, everybody. Yeah, first of all, thank you for those of you who have already taken the time to fill out the survey. That's awesome. So thank you very much. Already kind of spent a little bit of time reading through the answers. You guys are all very insightful. Helps me out a ton. Hey, Papa Hill. All right. Wow, you're up at 3 a.m. Thank you very much. So if you guys already haven't done so, I put a card on this video as well as a link in the description, but I've made a survey, a Google Docs survey, just trying to get a barometer of where the different types of content, how that ranks, and also the types of things you want to see, the types of things that should be tweaked a little bit. And then also I put a little thing about Patreon. I have fixed it so it's no longer a requirement. So I know some of you aren't interested in Patreon and didn't want to fill out individual things. So I made that optional now. So thanks for the heads up on that. I am doing okay. It is November. It's starting to get a little cold here in LA. And but otherwise, things are great. Things are great. I've been hit with a lot of work from my other job, so I haven't been as active social media wise, and it's just been taking a lot of time out of where I want to put. Excuse me for 1 second. It's been taking a lot of time out of Vinyl Rewind, unfortunately, which is part of why I wanted to talk about this, because I only have so much time I can really commit to Vinyl Rewind, and I want to be able to. I want to make sure that the time I do spend on it is worthwhile, and it's stuff that you guys want to watch. Obviously, there are things I want to do that may not be that interesting to you guys. So it's kind of finding that balance between all of that, and that's what this survey is about. With that all being said, is there any specific questions that you guys have down in the comments? And I'll try to do my best to answer all of them. So Rob the Champion asks, so the survey is, I put it as a card in the window or in the video, and I also put a link in the description of this video for that. It's a Google Docs thing. If you're still having trouble, be sure to update me on that. Let's see if, are these, okay, for some reason I'm getting a delay on the comments, so I'll switch over to here. Okay, Angus says there should be more classic albums from the 60s, and I should bring back all the characters I had on the show. Well, unfortunately, 2 of the characters are no longer in the LA area. I can't bring them back. That would be Ms. Mel and Auntie Vinyl. I could still bring back Professor Watson. His name is Marshall Watson, but I could still bring back Professor. It's just, I have to write extra. So sometimes in deciding between releasing an episode and not pushing it back even further, sometimes I err on the side of just releasing the episode, just because it's not quite double the work when I have to write for Professor, but it's a lot of extra work. Marshall doesn't really write, and sometimes our schedules don't always line up. Oh, you don't? Rise is cringing at, yeah, but Rise is cringing at the fact that the lady in the photo is holding the record that way. You know, I wasn't present for that part of that shoot, so I probably would have said something. But honestly, that record is crappy anyway. It's one of these junky records. So I hear you. I should probably pick something different. Are these? Yeah, okay. So how many people do we have? 83 people watching. So if you guys are just tuning in, I made a little survey, a Google Docs survey. If you want to take the time to answer it, I put a link in the description as well as a card that's attached to this live stream. So you guys head over there and fill it out. I know a number of you have already done that, which is awesome. So thank you again. Let's see. And you guys can feel free to ask any other questions too you may have. I don't really have a direction other than talking about where I want to see the channel going. Because obviously, if I didn't have this other job, I would be. My first goal is to get an in-depth album review out every month, because that eats a lot of time. But I know it's definitely something that you all really enjoy. And then sometimes I feel like pick of the week really isn't as interesting as I think it is. So that's where I'm kind of want to get more of a feedback on pick of the week, because it eats a lot of time. It's a sponsored video. I do 2 a month, but I want to make sure that it's interesting. I mean, I like finding new music. I realize it's, you know, in this day and age, it's kind of hard to be a tastemaker. And sometimes those videos can come off being a little too positive. So it's kind of meant to be, hey, check out this album. I think it's great. But if you guys think otherwise, I really want to know. Let's refresh this chat here. I don't know why it's not. Am I down on my stream? Is that what's going on? No, health is still good. Okay. Okay, for some reason the chat bogged down on me here. Okay. I don't even know where this chat. Okay. Sorry guys, bear with me. I'm reading through your chat right now. It froze on me for some reason. I don't know if I have a favorite LP of 2017 yet. I have yet to really go back and look through all that. And there's still albums I want to listen to that I haven't. Well, congrats, Move, for picking up a copy of the White Album. That's awesome. I really don't know how many records I own currently. I haven't counted in a very long time. How many suits do I have? That's a very good question. At least 30, maybe 35. Not all of them fit me well, though. Okay, VV Gaming HD says I should do more classic rock videos like Pink Floyd and the Beatles, Rolling Stones, Deep Purple, Queen, and more. I agree, and I aim on doing that. But again, going back, it's just I get sidetracked with my side job that eats a lot of my time, and it's just what it is right now. I'm doing what I can. Oh, it's Reese. Sorry, Reese Evans. It's a Welsh spelling. I did not know that. Thank you very much. Reese. R-H-Y-S. That's Reese. Thank you. Do you want to review Blonde on Blonde by Bob Dylan? It's in my to-do list, and it's been a while since I've heard it in a while, but it's a classic. I gotta cover it. Do I have plans to do more film soundtracks? Not necessarily. I kind of go by what you guys pick, and whatever albums get the most votes, do that. And generally, soundtracks don't hit that high for some reason. I haven't checked out Pacific Daydream, the new Weezer album, but I'm interested in checking it out. It's got a different sound. That intrigues me more. I should do a UK versus USA on the Clash debut release. Is it that different? I thought Oh, wait, are you talking about the first album released of The Clash in the US, which was different than their debut album? Because I remember people were widely importing the debut Clash album, I think. I don't know. Someone can clarify that for me real quick. Okay, I think the comments are refreshing now. What cassette deck do I own? I don't really collect cassettes. I have a few. The cassette deck I have is some random 6 CD changer with a radio and a cassette built in. It's not very fancy. Do I prefer more modern or old school records? Are you talking about like literally what they're made out of, or just like music on them? There's a difference in me. What happened to my top 10? I don't know. Do you guys like those top 10s? They felt kind of clickbaity, and they took a lot of time writing, where I feel like album reviews get more interest. I gotta change the record real quick. Hooah! Okay, where are we here? Dude, you picked up an original UK pressing of Dark Side of the Moon for 12 bucks. That's awesome. Hello, Sweden. Do you do all the production for the channel? Pretty much, yes. It's a one-man show at this point. Do a setup rundown. You talking about this setup right here? It's a Yamaha YP211 with a Yamaha CR620, and these are Sansui speakers. Put on the Blue Album. The Blue Album's like way upstairs. I have to go like outside, and I'll be gone for too long. Do I got favorite B-sides compilations like Nirvana's Incesticide, Oasis, The Master Plan? I haven't heard either of those, but I really like the B-sides for OK Not OK. That's a really great collection. I haven't listened to Hounds of Love by Kate Bush. Okay. What record player do I recommend for first player, which is quite cheap? I mean, what's your budget? I think you should for a decent record player, you should spend around $250, and I think the Audio-Technica LP120 is really great for that. There's an LP60, which is okay, but I've never used it, so I can't recommend it. Does Vinyl Me Please still sponsor you? No, they do not. And they don't send me any albums anymore. They just kind of stopped. Whoa. Okay, so Krong Gamer is saying there were many imports, but CBS released a modified version of the first album in 1979 between Give 'Em Enough Rope and London Calling. Oh! Okay, so you're talking about comparing that modified version to the original UK debut. Okay, alright, I can track that down. Oh yeah, EG, you've seen St. Lucia. That's awesome. I prefer speakers over headphones. How much was this record player? Oh gosh. I think this was free. I dug it out of Big Al's record barn when his son was closing it down, and he had just a bunch of random equipment. And this record player was actually in decent condition. It was missing the head shell, or not the head shell, the dust cover, which is probably the most expensive part on this. So I ended up buying another one of these off of eBay for like, it was broken, but for like 35 bucks just to get this. But otherwise, it works pretty good. I replaced the belt on it. It's not the best player in the world. Well, thank you, Al. What do I don't know. You got a YPB4 turntable. It's very good, I imagine. Oh, nice. Yeah, the receiver's from, I think, 80 or 82. We losing some stream here? What's going on? No, it's still good. I don't know why I'm having some issues here. Shows it's still going. Let me just refresh the chat real quick. Hope it's working on your guys' end. I'm getting a weird thing. Streaming's always such a funny thing. Definitely new to it. Boy. Okay, now we're good. Now we're good. What's the worst Weezer album in my opinion? Someone said Make Believe. You know, I kind of like that, but isn't, what's the one, Hurley? Isn't Hurley pretty bad? I still haven't dived into that one. Yes, I would love to review some hip hop classics. I should do more of that. I really want to try to cover all the genres in an equal amount, but it just doesn't always happen. A lot of people who watch this channel and who recommend albums or request albums to review don't tend to request hip hop. It tends to be classic rock, alternative, metal. That tends to be what it is. So that's kind of where I aim it. Let's see. Have you ever, whoa. 50th. Ever gonna do a US versus UK Magical Mystery Tour? Yes, I would love to do that. That is a perfect album to talk about because it's one of the, as many of you know, it's one of the rare cases where the US album is better. You got a, so Liam says he got a pair of 1974 KLH speakers for free. That's awesome. I'm not familiar with that brand though. Raditude. Yes, Raditude. That's the one that sucks, right? I don't even know. Red, you know, I haven't even dived into Red. Yeah, I've checked out the Veils a couple of times and it didn't really connect with me until I watched the new Twin Peaks and I watched the Veils perform one of the songs and it just kind of blew me away, and now I'm like, okay, I need to revisit them because I think I wrote them off too early. You should review, I should review Funhouse by the Stooges. Okay, I don't know that one. Do you have a specific time, how long ago the album was released before you can officially dedicate a Thumb Rewind episode to it? Adrian, yeah, that's a great question, Adrian. I don't think so. I'm assuming you're referring to like an actual in-depth album review. In the past, I've delved with records that recently came out as album reviews, but now the way I do it, I put a little bit more thought into it. I think Reflector might be, it's an older episode, but that was one of those albums where it just came out and I actually did an album review. But now what I try to do is cover really new albums as first impressions, which is still a review. It's literally off the cuff. I play the record, I write down notes, and then I tell you what I think of it without going into too much detail of behind the scenes, because a lot of times there's not a lot of information yet. So I feel like first impressions is a good way to tackle brand new albums or records. Yes, of course I've listened to the band Genesis. I grew up on them. Grunge is dead. I know I'm from Seattle and it's played to death, probably like Led Zeppelin and AC/DC in the 70s. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Yes, I actually covered Always, their first album, their self-titled album, as a pick of the week. I haven't checked out their new one. It's Anti-Socialite, I believe, but it sounds really good. I'm looking forward to it. Captain Beefheart Safe as Milk. I don't know that one, but I do own Trout Mask Replica, and that's definitely one I want to cover. What am I listening to the most nowadays? Man, it fluctuates. Right now, I'm kind of focused in on the few albums I'm trying to write reviews on. So that'd be Radiohead and Rolling Stones and Tame Impala. Do I prefer Peter Gabriel era Genesis? I don't think so, just because I grew up with Phil Collins era Genesis, so I kind of have a soft spot for that. KLH was a loudspeaker company in 1957. By 64, they made 30,000 speakers. Company got sold in 1980. Why are Modest Mouse records 40 and up? I didn't know that. I don't know. Maybe because they're double LPs and they have like a lot of extras, a lot of feelies inside. I really don't know. What's my favorite Weird Al album? That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with Dare to Be Stupid. It's my first one. I love that. Although his first album is great too. He plays accordion on every single track, which is, he's never done that since. Do I have any classic albums I can't stand? If so, can you give some major examples? Do a vice versa with some notorious bad albums that I unironically enjoy. You know, these questions of like, what albums do I hate, and what do I hate that is universally revered? I don't know, man. I think a lot about that, because so many of you have asked, like, what's an underrated band, or what do you think is overrated? And I mean, generally, I think pop music's overrated, but that's just not my cup of tea. But I like that question. I'm gonna keep thinking about that, and eventually I'll get some answers for you guys. Someone asked, I didn't see who asked, but someone asked, is there an episode that I hate? And there are definitely aspects of episodes where I make mistakes and I wish I could go back and change them, and annotations you can't really use anymore, so it's hard to really correct your videos. There's pronunciation things that I do that I would love to have fixed, like saying Greenwich Village instead of Greenwich Village. But you know, like, there's episodes where I think I was pushing too hard. I was trying to, I don't know. It's funny because when I first started this channel, I was so afraid of giving my opinion. So I just kind of played it on the safe side and just stuck to what other people said and just stuck to facts and just did that. And now I find it's so much more freeing and interesting to actually give my opinion and rely less on giving you guys facts. I still like to intertwine facts with opinion and just interesting tidbits, but I find that, especially the feedback I get, is you guys are way more interested in to know what I think versus what you could read on Wikipedia. Guided by Voices. I have heard of them, but I just can't think of what they're from. Pretenders, okay. Okay, so Liam asks, would I say I have an even number of 45s to 12-inch, or are you more of a 12-inch guy? Definitely, I am more of a 12-inch guy. I have quite a few 45s. I like collecting them. I don't really enjoy playing them. I'm rarely ever in a case where I have two turntables and I'm able to switch between the two, but that is fun. Okay, so I'm sorry, I can't say your name, Go Zori, but he says grunge is still alive. Well, yeah, it's true. Grunge isn't called grunge anymore. How do I usually come across new music? I don't generally look for new music off of sites. I generally get it from you guys when you write comments on videos or send me tweets, or not really Facebook, but not really Instagram either, mostly tweets. I find out about new music that way, and we have a really good, here in LA, we have a really good program called Morning Becomes Eclectic on NPR, and it's 3 hours of pretty much new music. They tend to stay on like the folky, alternative, like rock side. They don't really get much into hip hop or electronic, but that's another great avenue I find too. And then Occasionally Spotify or yeah, YouTube. Do you think I will ever review a Green Day album? No, actually, I want to review Dookie. That was my first album. I listened to them, and it has a profound effect on me. That was one of those albums that got me into listening to new music. So Tim, you asked if I have a Discog account. Yeah, I do. I think I added it. If you go into the description of this video down below, I put a link. It's under web store. It's just Discogs. And it's right above social stuff. So if you go there, you can friend me or whatever on that. Do I ever dabble in extreme musics like black metal, death metal, grindcore, noise, or hardcore punk? I definitely like hardcore. Noise is, I don't know, grindcore, Black metal and death metal is something I don't really know a lot about, and my local record shop does, so that's somewhere where I can go and learn more about it, but I don't tend to dabble in that. It has to be a time and a place, and I don't often find myself... I find that stuff kind of real, it distracts from my focus, which is a good thing, really. It forces you to listen to it, but a lot of times when I'm listening to music, I'm also editing. So I'm kind of doing two things at once, and it doesn't always work out that way. It's probably not the best way to listen to new music, but... have I listened to Kilimanjaro by the Teardrop Explodes? No, but I'll check it out. How about the Doors? Yeah, you know, the Doors are one of those bands I discovered real early on. I thought they were the greatest band ever. And now it's hard for me to kind of go back and really like them as much as I did then. But I never really listened to their whole album output. I had like their debut and I have Strange Days, but LA Woman is one I really want to get into. So yeah, they're on my list and I will get to them. I just don't know when. And that's part of what I'm doing right here, is figuring out what you guys want. So if you can take the time to fill out the survey, it's a Google Docs survey. There's a link in the description as well as a card that you guys can click on. They'll take you right there. And that will really help me to figure out the direction I should take the show. Because as I stated earlier, I don't have a lot of time, unfortunately, to devote to the show. I want to devote like all the time I can, but I also have these jobs and things that kind of pull me away from working on the show. And unfortunately, a lot of these jobs are requiring the same skills, so it kind of burns me out from editing, and it's just hard. So anyway, fill out that survey. I'm going to take a look at that after all of this, but feel free to ask any questions you want or any follow-up questions. I'm going to change the record real quick. Okay. Well, you're very welcome, Audio Saurus. Do I think vinyl is overpriced? Yes and no. I mean, it's a very physically, I shouldn't say physically demanding. It's a very intensive process to make a vinyl record, because you have to, there's all these steps. It's not like dubbing a cassette or burning a CD. It's very involved, and there's a lot of material. It's not just plastic, it's paper and plastic. And there's a lot of like skilled labor that goes into making vinyl. So on the one hand, no, it's a craft product. But on the other hand, stuff like colored vinyl and like limited editions, that stuff, when it gets on the secondary market, is completely overpriced. Because a lot of times, especially with colored vinyl, you're kind of paying more money for something that doesn't sound as good as the regular edition. So the collecting aspect will make it overpriced, but I think if you're buying new records, I think for the by and large, well, I should say this. I mean, if it's a reissue of an 80s Madonna album and it's $35, don't buy it. Go buy that album at your local shop for $5. Because up until like the 90s, you can probably, well, I would say between the 70s and the late 80s, any of those albums you can find excellent condition and pay less than these reissues are costing. I think where it gets overpriced is just 180 gram vinyl that you don't know how it's mastered, you don't know where the source was from. That's where it gets overpriced, where I think you'd be better off buying a really good conditioned used record. So let's go back to the, am I gonna review any country albums in the near future? Well, Christian, it really depends on you guys requesting them, because that's kind of how I go. I personally like classic country. I like stuff from, you know, 30s, 40s, 50s, somewhat 60s. By the time it gets into the late 60s and 70s, it wanes on me. There's some good stuff in the 80s, like Dwight Yoakam, but by the time the 90s and 2000s hit, I can't get into it that much. Here's a fun debate: Melancholy or Siamese Dream? I'm gonna go with Siamese Dream, just because I feel like Melancholy is a little bloated. I think it could have been a single record release and it just would have been, yes, 90s Bowie is, I think, underrated. Okay, so there's a good question. Michael asks, based on my special where I mentioned buying weird, funny albums, do I ever have or listen to a copy of Trout? Yeah, I do have a copy of Trout Mask Replica, and I still haven't listened to it yet. I need to do that. But again, I get sidetracked by covering other things. So, whoa, okay, that guy with spoons says a new record in Sweden can cost $30 to $40. Is that converted, or is that, I'm not sure what currency you're on in Sweden, but I'd like to know more about that, actually. How long does it take me to make an episode? So that guy with spoons, which is a great username, by the way, if we're talking about an album review episode where I put, like the White Album, for instance, that one took a long time, but I didn't really work on it every day. But for that one in particular, let's say I had a whole week to work on it. It might take a whole week from the research to the writing. And actually, writing is what takes a long time, because I write it and I read through it, I make changes to it, and then I put that all in a teleprompter type system, and then I shoot it, and then I oh god, that was a terrible, now that I remember that took me like 2 hours to shoot, because I had a glare on the glass that I didn't see. So that was a hard shoot. But realistically, it doesn't take me that long to shoot them, and then editing goes by really quick because I did all the edits and the writing. So really, it can take like 5 to 7 days, like, you know, 9 to 5 hours days to make one in-depth album review. And I'm trying to speed that process up, and I'm trying to use, what I often do is I'll listen to the music and I'll dictate what I'm hearing and be like, oh, this is a great part, listen to this. This is when the, you know, whatever I do. And then I would transcribe that into text, but that took so much time. But now I realize with Google Docs, I can hook up a microphone and it will automatically transcribe what I'm speaking into text, and that's gonna speed up a ton. I have to find the right discipline and mindset to write the other stuff, because the music's easy and writing my thoughts on the thing, but it's condensing down the backstory, sort of the history, what led to the album. That can take a lot of time, because I kind of have to wrap up, you know, a couple of years maybe of backstory into like 2 or 3 paragraphs. That can take a lot of time. So great question. Okay, so name an album. Okay, so no one important asks or says, here's a challenge, name an album, experience an album, experiencing which is like having an unfulfilled sneeze. Oh, I see. So like you're saying, listening to it it's like almost there. That's interesting. I can't say I've ever had that exact feeling. I'll have to think about that one. Okay, so Liam asked, where am I based out of? I am based in Los Angeles, more specifically the east side of Hollywood, pretty close to Dodger Stadium, and what else is near here that you guys might know? I don't know. I can see the Hollywood sign from my house. Who, in my opinion, has the best post-Beatles solo career? Well, I mean, I think that's kind of unfair. I would say McCartney, really. I mean, he had, from his solo stuff to the Wings, he killed it, really. I think who had the worst was maybe Ringo, but I don't know. He has a new album out. I haven't heard it yet. What do you guys think? Okay, one more song. Okay, so Boone, I'm sorry, I'm totally saying your name wrong, sir. You would love to hear more about the future plans for the channel. So that's a great question. And we do have plans. And some of it's short term, some of it's pie in the sky long term. We would love, and by we I mean Josh, and if you know the channel, you know Josh is kind of behind the scenes. He created the look of all this. And he's sort of he's the visionary for me. And, you know, we see this as part of a like 30-minute, maybe 45-minute program where like the focus is a particular album, and then we have like someone come on the show to, you know, maybe a celebrity to talk about that album, and then we do a drink, and then maybe we end with, hey, check out this new album, pick of the week kind of a thing. And it's like this whole, like, maybe it's a weekly show, maybe it's a longer program type, maybe it's like a Tonight Show, but we've always kind of seen it as like a 70s Tonight Show, sort of a place to come hang out for musicians to feel comfortable, to a place where they can just like hang out and not have to talk about their art, because I find so many artists get sort of, they kind of clamp up, or they get tired of like saying the same thing over and over. And it'd be so much more interesting to kind of just chill and figure out, you know, see who they are. What are their interests? What are they listening to? I find those interviews are so much more interesting, because what they think of a song isn't necessarily the same as what you think of a song, and it's open to interpretation. So that's kind of the pie in the sky beyond like a channel, like a GQ or something, or I don't know. But in the short term, I would love to put more and more time into this. My ultimate goal is to do a full in-depth album review a month. So once a month you get an episode like the White Album. And then on top of that, I would just like to do 2 uploads a week. So you're looking at 8 videos a month, which I think I think that's pretty good. I think that's what most of the big time YouTube people do. I know some people do it every day, but that's kind of not going to happen without a bigger team. Also, near future plans. I want to rework Pick of the Week. I don't think it's as successful as it could be, and also I want to tackle more albums. On a personal note, I think I need to not necessarily be more negative, but be more, you know, be a little bit more realistic, maybe, perhaps. Part of the problem with Pick of the Week is that it's literally a recommendation, so obviously it's going to already be positive. But, you know, some people, I've gotten complaints where it just seems like everything I ever talk about is positive. And I think on my own end, I think I need to be a little bit more critical, just to keep it more interesting and not just be like, oh, you already know the outcome. It's like, what's, you know, anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that. And then maybe also in the short term, adding some more content, and that's what this survey is all about. So if you guys haven't already done it, I put a link in the description as well as a card that you guys can click on. That'll take you to a Google Docs link. Take some time out, fill that out. It's going to help me out a lot, and it's your opportunity to give me some uncensored feedback. You can be as harsh as you want, you can be as kind as you want, it doesn't matter. I just want to hear what you have to say. I want to know what you want to see on here, because ultimately I'm not doing this just for myself. I do enjoy doing it, but really I want this channel to be successful. I want it to be entertaining, and I need to know if something's not working as well as if something is working. And I also kind of want to gauge interest in a Patreon. It's not set in stone. I'm kind of throwing some ideas out there, but if there's enough of a response, which I've already gotten great response already from the survey, so thank you to those who've already filled that out. That really helps a lot. Yeah, I'm curious in doing that. So yeah, that's kind of the short term, long term. Now back to the comments here. Sorry about that. Well, thank you, Mr. Grief. I appreciate that. Do something on the Smiths. Oh, yes, I know, right? I need to talk about the Smiths. I will definitely do The Queen is Dead. It is a long time coming. But again, I'm working on a couple other album reviews that are going to come out before it. Ugliest famous album cover. Wow, that's a good one. I like that. Hey, Nick, you're from the UK. Well, thank you very much, Nick. So, I'm sorry, I still can't say your name. Gozio Zolt Art. He thinks, or he or she thinks, I should do more classic, important, obscure albums. And I would love to. I agree. I need to do that. And again, it just gets back to me managing my time. This year has been crazy in terms of personal life as well as work. It's just taken me away from the show, but I'm doing what I can, and you guys are helping me out by kind of guiding me and focusing my energy, because that's really what I need right now. I could also go mobile, get out of the studio and go see other collections of places around LA having to do with music vintage CDs. I like that, Bradley. I definitely want to do that with my local record shop. Part of the problem is I'm a one-man show, and like taking time out to schedule these things takes time away from actually producing album content. So that's kind of the reason I haven't done that. Also, I'm kind of a loner, and I stay hobbled up in my little corner, and I don't get out much. So that's my own fault. So Mattypedia says, I'd love if you'd upload reviews more frequently. Now, thank you. I do too. I really want to do that too, but I need to know, do you guys enjoy first impressions? Do you like that? Does that satisfy that album review niche? Because I can produce those a lot faster and easier than I can a full in-depth album review. And I do like doing those, but I need to know if I know it's not the same caliber, but is it as interesting? Is it, I don't know, fill out the survey, let me know. So Christian says, do more new release albums. I do that, and I generally save that for pick of the week. But yeah, I definitely could do more of those as first impressions so that it becomes more of a review. What's up, Daniel? More Beach Boys. Yes, I love the Beach Boys. I'm going to change the record, so excuse me for 1 second here. And let's see. What do I feel like listening to? Put on some Bad, Bad, Not Good. How about that? Haven't listened to this one in a while. Okay, where are we here? Tim, that is a great idea. Tim asked, can I do a voting system so we can vote on full album reviews or first reactions, first impressions? Yeah, I could do that right now, actually. Let me go and do that. So bear with me, guys. But ultimately, though, I think most people are gonna want album reviews anyway, though. Oh, I gotta put a question in here. Okay, so the poll is up. Okay, so where are we here? I would rather album reviews over first impressions because I fill in the backstory of the album and details I probably don't know while also telling what you like about the records. Okay, thank you, Mattpedia. Why not try a monthly gold, silver, and bronze disc method of awarding an album review? In-depth looks into group history maybe, Rush for example, top stuff. So Sean, that's a great idea. So can you write a little bit more about that? I'm not exactly sure what you mean. So like, are you talking about like new music? So say like the gold record for this month is St. Vincent's new album, and then silver would be Always, and then the bronze is, I don't know, what else came out this month or last month. Is that what you mean? I should do wacky reviews where I review something not vinyl related, such as food, movie, and video games. Oh, that's a great thing. Bum Bisque writes. Interesting. I wonder how that would go over. What do you guys think of that? Okay, so Wall of Chris says, yeah, definitely do more first impressions and save longer form videos for higher ranked albums. Okay, cool. I included in your survey segment, haven't seen anyone else do, if you like X, then you'll like... wait a minute. Sorry, I'm trying to read John's comment here. Wait, so... Oh, okay, I get it. So, you know, that's funny because I thought I used to do that at one point years ago. So John's saying, as part of an in-depth album review, I also recommend 3 to 5 albums that are similar that I would recommend. Interesting, I like that. Do I use eBay for secondhand vinyl? Occasionally, not as much anymore. I tend to use Discogs. Well, thank you very much, Tom. No, just... well, how about this, guys? What if I put a question in there, but what about movie reviews of music movies, say like Tommy or The Wall or Moonwalker, which is terrible. That's a terrible movie. But stuff like that. Or, you know, I don't know if Purple Rain would count. I don't think so. But what do you guys think of that? Thank you, Andy, for commenting. How about more classic rock reviews? I want to do that, Tom. Okay, Jake, so you like the idea of movie music reviews. Okay. VP asks, yes, this amplifier is a Yamaha. It is a CR620. Blah, 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 blah. I would love to see a musical twist on Game Theory. Oh yeah, that guy, man, Matt Pat, that is, I like that. He's got a whole team though, man. I really admire the work that they do. Yeah, so the background music is Bad Bad Not Good's third album. That's what's going on. Yes, Tuner Motels is another freaky deaky one. How about reviewing some film soundtracks? Yeah, you know, feel free to suggest them. I don't tend to get a lot of votes for them though. Well, thank you very much, Intoxicated Snake. Do I have any colored vinyl? Of course I do, yes, I do. I don't go out of my way to buy colored vinyl though. Okay, well thank you, Mr. Grief. More Who videos, I will get to them. How about I look at music genres that I'm not so familiar with? Well, can you go further on that, Brandon? Like in what form? Like in terms of like an album review? Like, let me know. People says more Radiohead, and yes, Radiohead's coming. Any idea on the value of the first 1,500 copies of UK Sgt. Pepper's? Are you talking about the original pressing? I'm not exactly sure what pressing you're referring to. How did I get Johnny Eccles on? I sent him a Facebook message. It took a while, but he eventually replied. He lives here in Glendale, actually. So do a review on the 4LP set by Flaming. That is a crazy album. I've never heard it though. How about intentionally going out there to review bad albums? You know, I used to do that back in the day, and it got kind of boring in terms of, at least for me, but maybe I'll revisit that. I don't know. What bad album would you want me to review? Well, thank you, Brian. So, yeah, older albums help you out. Okay. Okay, I like that. VP says Rescue from the Gutter albums that with historically bad, sorry, it just went away. Bad review, give them a second chance. Okay, so it'd have to be like really notoriously bad. Definitely, I would consider that. Why is colored vinyl worse quality sound? Well, there's a number of reasons, but generally like black vinyl has something, it's got carbon in it that makes it harder. It creates a better surface plane noise. Another reason is just like colored vinyl, historically you don't tend to see it, all the scratches and stuff is bad, especially if it's used. So sometimes it might look like a near mint copy, but you put it on, it's more like a very good. Also, different color types of vinyl, colored types require different temperatures to heat up, and sometimes when you're switching between black and say red, some of the vinyl may not be at the right temperature when it's pressed. Also, like multicolor vinyl tends to, especially if it's like a split color, it might have a noticeable pop in between the two colors. If it's like a glitter, it can also have a lot of pops in it, and it's beyond that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's those reasons. But the best colored vinyl will only be 95% of like a really high quality black vinyl. But again, it comes down to like the temperature, the pressing plant, the environment that it's pressed in, because even black vinyl pressings can sound worse than a really high quality pressed colored vinyl. So it really depends on where it's coming from. Oh, okay, where are we here? Okay, Kilgore says you have one of the first 1,500. I would say that's at least a couple $100 for that original issue, Sgt. Pepper's. How do you know that it's the first 1,500? Is it the label that tells you it? I always thought like the first pressings of their first album is really sought after too. Yeah, I'm definitely going to review Hendrix's Axis Bold as Love. Definitely. Okay, Sean, so you're saying choose a particular year or put it to the people, find some top-selling albums of that year, put 3 albums up to head-to-head, awarding first to third. Top album gets the full play. Huh. Are you thinking of that as like a live stream? Do I have any 16 RPM records? No, actually, I don't believe I do. Grayson asks, do I have any big plans or changes for the channel? Not really. I don't really have many changes. It's more fine tuning at this point. I kind of want to see where people are in terms of what they enjoy, what they don't like, what they think could be improved upon. And that's where the survey comes in. So again, if you're just tuning in, I made a survey. It's a Google Docs survey. There's a link in the description as well as a card that you can click on. Just fill it out. It shouldn't take too long, and that will help out a lot. Do I know the band Death from Above 1979? Of course. I really like them. Oh, okay. So, for instance, a folk, surf, yacht rock personal top 10. Okay. Okay, yeah, I dig that. I dig that. Do I have another favorite music review channel? I don't tend to watch other people's reviews because I don't want it to color my review, especially if it's an album I'm gonna go into. But I mean, the Needle Drop, that guy's pretty solid. I think the Daily Guru is pretty cool. And then occasionally I'll pop over to Metacritic and sort of read some reviews. Ooh, that was a good question. Let me go back real quick. What do I really want to achieve with this channel before 2018? I really want to achieve getting out 3 more album reviews before the end of 2018, but that probably won't happen. So at least 2 plus the top 10 of 2017. That's really what I want to get out of it. But it's continuing to grow. I can't complain. So I'm really happy with how the channel has progressed. Tim asks, is there any vinyl pressing that I've been looking for that I still haven't got? I mean, yeah, I mean, Prince's Black album, I mean, that's probably not gonna happen. And I'd love to get my hands on a copy of original issue of Gene Vincent's album on Capitol, as well as Johnny Burnett Trio's Rock and Roll Trio, their album. Okay, I like that, Derek. So you're saying a near and dear segment, albums that are close to my heart from a time period that correlates to you, to me and my story. That's interesting. Okay, so more of like a love letter, less of a review, but more of like, this is an album that's really important to me and here's why. I could see that, I could see that. Interesting, I like that. Yeah, I'm not using my full studio lights right now, Griffin, and that's because like they put off a lot of heat and it just makes me sweaty. So are you talking about like how dark it is right now? I think so. What's the best sounding pressing I have? I really like the Mobile Fidelity pressing of the Blue album. I feel like it's hearing it again for the first time. Yeah, Joshua, that's a great point. He says I should do some videos or stories behind classic songs. I've been wanting to do that because there's some songs that have been recorded by many different people or that are just very famous on their own, and they have different cover versions that I think like a song spotlight would be cool. Okay, so Andy Rass, why wear the suits? I love your look. Would you love to know? Would love to know what brought you to start wearing them on a consistent basis. Well, the easy question is Josh. Josh Stankar. He is the creative director behind the show, and it was his idea. He thought it should have a consistent look, like a very Mad Men-y film look, and it should have like it should have that idea of a talk show. Like talk show hosts always wear suits, but we'll do it in the vintage style. I personally, in my life, have always collected vintage suits, so I just had them. So it made sense to include them. Vinyl, even though it's still being made, it tends to have like a vintage feel, you know what I mean? So it just seemed to fit naturally, and I trust Josh, so I was like, you know what, let's do it, and it created this whole thing to where I try to dress in a way that complements the record. Tim asks if it was real acid. No, it was not real acid. Kilgore talks about, how about a guide on used and new turntable stereo gear? That would be great. I'd have to do more research on that. Thoughts on disco, Tom asks. I liked it as a high schooler. I still enjoy the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, but it kind of got played out in the 90s, and there's very few songs and artists that don't get on my nerves that come from the disco era, but I still like some of it. I don't have enough of an opinion on vaporware. Okay, Derek, I like that idea. So you're saying once in a while do it in segments. So you're like saying combine segments, like pick of the week. I'm curious what you mean by that. Jackass, yeah, I did pick a winner. There was 2 winners for Nelson's contest. They were contacted. I probably should have announced that, sorry. Thoughts on the spin clean? I still use it, I think it's great. It's great for cleaning a bunch of records at a time, but you kind of have to clean out the wastewater bin a lot more than you think you should. I mean, it says like 50 records, you should probably change it out after 25. What is the worst Beatles album, not including Yellow Submarine? Are you talking about like officially released albums? I don't know, man. There's some Capitol record ones that aren't that great. It just, you know, I have to think more about that. I don't want to dig myself into a hole there. How about a special with all my Swedish that I don't have? What is my day job? Asks. It's not too personal. I've been doing this for 10 years. I videotape weddings and I cut the weddings together. I also put together wedding photo albums for couples. I work with a friend up in Santa Cruz, so I end up traveling a lot for work. Additionally, I do freelance stuff. There's a company called Life Aid Beverage Company. They're out of Santa Cruz as well. And they've hired me a number of times to do different video projects for them. Most recently, I did this thing with Hunter McIntyre. You can go check out on their page, the Fit Aid YouTube page. You can check that out. They're really kind of funny 1-minute videos where we just had a lot of fun doing ridiculous things, and I was behind the camera and I edited those. What's the song called in the background? I'm not sure where you're listening to. There's a delay, so. I think it's Kaleidoscope, maybe. Where do I get the background information for an album review? That's a great question. A lot of it's interviews. My basis is I start at Wikipedia. I see where it's linked. I try to read reviews. I watch videos of behind the scenes making of documentaries. I have an old book from the 80s and it talks about albums from like the 40s on up until like 85. And so for certain albums I can use that. Obviously for new ones I can't. So it's a wide range, but generally it's the internet that gives me my information. I don't have a favorite of 2017 yet, but I will, I promise, by December. Will I review Spinal Tap? You mean the film? Did they put out music? I don't know if they put out actual albums. How old am I? I am 35. But don't tell anybody. Oh, Swedish vinyl in my collection. Gosh, you know, I don't categorize them by where the bands are from, but I should look into that. That's a great idea. Is there, gosh, I can't think of off the top of my head. Oh, nice. You have a Japanese pressing of Deja Vu. That is, that's a great album, by the way, too. So, quick opinion on Weezer's new album. I haven't heard it yet, so I can't give it. What album would you recommend to a beginner record buyer? Yeah, definitely I would say Sgt. Pepper's, Dark Side of the Moon, Hendrix album, some Weezer albums, Nirvana's Nevermind. What else is a great album? I gotta throw in some hip hop in there, definitely. Probably I don't know, is that a good album on vinyl? I know I really like Donuts by Jay Dilla, but it kind of becomes cumbersome flipping the record so often. Favorite Bowie era? I'd say the 80s. I really like 80s Bowie. That's kind of how I first discovered him. Worst Weezer album? I don't know, man. That's a good question. I'm not intimately familiar with their whole discography. PJ Harvey album. I don't really listen to PJ Harvey. Oh, either 70s or 90s Bowie? I'd have to go with 70s Bowie. As much as I like that he was still experimenting in the 90s, the 70s is where it's at, man. Yes, Court of the Crimson King is another great album to get on vinyl for a beginner. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't sound that great. Just the way it's been mastered. I even got a really nice pressing of it, and it still sounds like it's coming through a tin radio. I don't have a family or kids. I mean, I'm married, but I don't have any kids or anything like that. That's what I consider a family. Worst Pink Floyd album. Again, I don't. Is Division Bell, is that pretty bad? I don't know. I don't know how it ranks with their other stuff. I'm gonna change the record out real quick. Bear with me, everybody. All right. Do I play any instruments? I play guitar, and I used to play trumpet. What pressing of that do you have, Jack? I want to know, because I have like an original pressing, and I have like a 200 gram UK pressing, and it still doesn't sound that great to me. It doesn't sound as great as it should sound. I guess I should put it that way. Thoughts on the Monkees, Tom asks. I like the Monkees. They were a great band as a kid. I ate them up. But as an adult, I don't know if they have a lasting appeal. As far as a TV show, I never really watched it, so I don't know. So King Fitzroy asks, have I ever listened to free new jazz music lately? I don't think I have, but I'd be interested in it. You have the 2010 reissue. Is that the 200 gram one? I wonder if that is. I don't have mine offhand to check. I guess I could look on my Discogs account to figure out which one I have. I do have a lot of soundtracks. That's one of my things I really enjoy collecting. What do I think of Blink-182? They're my what's the term? They're my guilty pleasure. I love them, man. They're wacky guys. They were like a breath of fresh air with all the boy bands that were attacking my eardrums during that time. Right, I'm going to Discogs. I'm trying to see what copy of King Crimson I have. Okay, Jack. Yeah, like, I thought that 200 gram pressing was of the UK master, which was better than the US master, but still, listening to it, I wasn't that impressed. It just sounds so skinny when it should be much fuller. I don't understand why that sounds the way it does. Maybe I'm not making sense either. I don't know. This whole time change thing is kind of throwing me for a loop here. Okay, I'll check out PJ Harvey. Sorry, VP. I haven't listened to the remaster of My Bloody Valentine's Loveless. What do you think? Yeah, you know, the Beatles did have a lot of amazing B-sides. that never got released. Yeah, Scott, it's Bad Bad Not Good 3. If you do, okay, Bradley says, if you do a video for all the Star Wars vinyl around the new movie release, I think that would be a winning video. Do they put out, I guess, yeah, they do put out that, huh? You know, I'm so over Star Wars, to be honest. JJ, the whole thing, I mean, it's better than it was, but I don't know, man. I think it's like too popular now. Do I play digital music as well? Well, I listen to a lot of digital music, yes. It's about half and half. I like the Arctic Monkeys. Ever heard of Radical Dance Faction? No, I haven't. Maybe, I don't know what that means. Hang on. Kilgore says maybe a Tyne ear producer? Can't imagine fit. I think there's just something, like they lost the original master tapes and all they have is not the original. I don't know. There's something else going on with Court of the Crimson King. Like, and I'm not the only one to say this. There's a YouTube video of someone doing a needle drop of this really nice pressing and it doesn't still sound as good. Did I watch Stranger Things? Yes, I watched season 2. I have the first season on soundtrack, or the first season soundtrack on vinyl. Both of them. My favorite drink tends to be a Mai Tai, but that's if I make it myself or go to a good tiki establishment. All right, I don't know why I'm still looking this up. Hello, Charlotte. Elvis is one of maybe 3 of the greatest songwriters remaining. Are you talking about Elvis Costello? Sorry guys, the chat kind of quit on me here. The Doctor Man asked if I thought about doing more Pink Floyd reviews. Yes, I definitely. I'm working towards doing The Wall up next. Nice, Sean. That's a great pickup. I haven't checked out that album. That's their follow-up to their first album, right? Do I think Prince's Black Album would have been as hailed as it is if it wasn't released? Is it really hailed though? I feel like it's garnered interest because it was quickly pulled and it wasn't officially released until later, but I hear it got mixed reviews regardless though. I don't know if it's really hailed as much as it's coveted by collectors. I'm really interested to hearing what they're gonna release out of his vault. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna review some Sex Pistols. Can I recommend some heartbreaking albums? I really like, there's this album by Nat King Cole, and I'm blanking on the title of it, but let me pick it up on Discogs. And it's, oh, you know, In the Wee Small Hours of the Night is another fantastic, heartbreaking album, I find, but let me see if I can look this Nat King Cole album up. Bear with me, everybody. It may take a while. What job do I have? I'm a freelance videographer and editor. I generally work weddings and like corporate stuff. I recently just shot and put together a bunch of like stupid funny videos for FitAid. If you guys want to check them out, go to the FitAid YouTube page. That's, I think I can type it out. And there I did stuff with Hunter McIntyre. Why do I only have 21,000 subscribers? I don't know, man. because I'm not a girl, probably. I don't. You know what it is? I don't play video games, and YouTube's so big now. It's like, how do you find people? So yeah, the gold record is just, it's a random record. It came off of eBay. Someone just did a vacuum metalized on a random thrift store record. There's nothing special about it. Anyway, let me get back to this Nat King Cole. Oh, this might take a while. There's like 105 albums. Yes, I would love to do a review of the Black Album. Yeah, Smiths are great. Do I use Rate Your Music? I don't know. I don't. Yes, the main topic, if you're just joining us, is I want to shape the future of Final Rewind. I'm not going to change anything crazy. I just want to hone it. I want to make it the best it can be, and the only way to do that is to get user feedback. And the best way I thought of is a survey. So I made a Google Docs survey. You can click on the card I put on this video, or there's a link in the description. Just spend a few minutes, fill that out, let me know what you think. You can type out some answers if you want. It's totally optional, but just kind of give me what you think of the different things that I do, what I could be doing better, what I could add to it, what I could take away. So that's kind of what we're talking about. Other people are just asking me random questions. So it is a fun hangout time on a Sunday. I have not heard Bad Bad Not Good's Late Night Tales compilation. I'm not sure what that is. New Order is excellent. I love New Order. But I think I love Joy Division just a bit more because it has that edge of falling apart. By the way, why do you want to listen to something heartbreaking? I'm just curious. I don't know if I can find this record. Oh wait, no, that's not it. Well, thank you very much, David. Thank you, Jack. What YouTubers do I watch? I watch a lot of, oh, that's what it is. Just One of Those Things. This is one of my favorite albums by Nat King Cole. I don't know if you can see that, but Just One of Those Things. I went through a breakup and I had that record on a lot. What YouTubers? I watch a lot of video game YouTubers just because it's a change of pace. But I like Tech Moan. I like Lazy Game Reviews. I like, let's see, who are my subscriptions here? Baraka P Dub, Channel 33 RPM, Cinemassacre, Dixie Farmland, Earhead 6, Film Brain, Game Dave, Game Sack, Games Done Quick, Gamester 81, Gaming Historian, Jay Leno's Garage, John Carlos McMaster. He does toys, but he's a friend. Let's see, My Life in Gaming, Nintendo Voice Chat, Nostalgia Nerd, Pushing Up Roses, Stop Skeletons from Fighting, Team Coco, Tested, the Ben Heck Show, The Q Up, The Game Chasers, Late Night with Colbert. Although he's kind of starting to wane on me a little bit. He's a little too, I don't know. He becomes redundant. The Vinyl Corner, Toy Galaxy, yeah. So no one important says, how about getting musicians and people inclined with music to pick up an album, review it with you, and make some sort of review interview? You know, I've sort of done that with my Talking Wax. Like I did one for ELO's Time with Baron Von Luxury. I don't know if you've seen that, but that's what I would do. Or I did it with Mrs. Magician, and we did, I'm blanking on it right now. It is The Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle. We did that too. Is that what you mean, or do you mean something a little different? I'm definitely going to do The Queen is Dead by the Smiths. Oliver asked if I thought about doing more Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Hendrix, Rolling Stones, the Beatles. Yes, definitely. The Rolling Stones and Beatles are high on my list, followed by Floyd and some Zeppelin. Black Sabbath, not as much. It depends if more people send it out that way. Album to which you could never live if you couldn't listen to it again. Oh, that's a good one, VP. I don't know, man. That is, I don't know, man. I guess, you know, one of my favorites is Weezer's Blue Album. Do I watch LA Beast? I don't know what that is. Charlotte, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate that. That helps a lot. Again, just since there's a pause, I think, in the comments, I just want to, in the chat, I mean, I just want to thank you for participating, for hanging out, for chatting it up, and for supporting the show. It helps a lot, keeps me going, and wouldn't be doing it without you guys. So thank you again. I'm going to pop over and take a look at the survey just to see how that's going. I could check out some of the excuse me, some of the responses. Ooh, we have let's see here. Oh, responses. Hang on. Yeah, it's really weird how the chat just kind of freezes up on me. Don't exactly. Oh, 157 responses. Awesome. Thank you so much. Did I buy many of the Beatles mono reissues? I plan on buying the box set and doing a whole product review on that. Favorite Blue Album song? Say It Ain't So, maybe? Oh, I didn't realize there was a 200 character limit there. Thank you for telling me that, no one important. Shane Selmar. Oh, really? You watch the same stuff too? That's cool. LA Beast eats stuff. You will laugh harder than you. Oh, really? Okay. I'll definitely, I'll check them out. Favorite album cover artwork. Ooh. Man, that's a good one, Sean. Ah, gosh. Man, that is a tough one. I mean, I love Whipped Cream and Other Delights. I mean, that thing is a classic album cover, but that's kind of a jokey album cover. I mean, as a kid, I love Sgt. Pepper's. I mean, that to me is infinitely interesting. I can't get enough of that. LA Beast. I'm looking up LA Beast right now. I'm gonna subscribe. Or is it La Beast? I'm not sure what it is. How do you say it? I'm saying LA Beast, but that could be completely wrong. Wow, this guy's got almost 2 million subs. Maybe I should start eating crap. Kidding, I'm not gonna do that. I'll make drinks though. Hey William, so the survey is, there's a card up above that you can click on or down in the description below, but basically it's just a series of questions. I kind of want to gauge viewer interest. What are your favorite aspects? What are your least favorite aspects? What do you think I could be doing different? What do you think I could be doing better? Or what do you want to see more of? And then also, in addition to that, there is a Patreon section. That's totally optional. That's even if you're interested in that. It's totally an optional thing. So, thoughts on Childish Gambino? I am infinitely jealous of that man. He is living the life I would love to live. He is amazing guy. I want to hate him. Okay. My favorite foreign music. Ooh, I don't know, man. There's so many great bands out there. Oh, you know. Oh, I gotta change this record. Hang on. Hold that thought. Oh, come on. Okay, no one important says, okay, so he says that he means that the guests would have picked an album and then said why they think it's great, analyze it, review it from the technical standpoint, personal. Oh, okay. So a little bit more in depth rather than just, hang on, why isn't this, come on. Help me out here, bro. Oh, you gotta be, I hate automatic turntables. Oh, these are so annoying. All right, come on. Help me out. Oh, helps if I do that. You know, oh, that would be great to get a Swedish pressing of ABBA. That would be awesome. Top 10 lists seem to be an easy win, like rope 10 records with the most cultural impact. Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of stopped doing top 10 records. It didn't seem to be getting that much interest, but if you guys like those, I don't know. Yankee Hotel Foxtrot by Wilco. You know, in passing I have. I don't think I've really listened to it enough to really give an opinion on it. I mean, it's good. The last good Rolling Stones album. Gosh, they have so many. How do you even keep track? The Beatles, overrated. Yeah, I mean, in some respects, the early Beatles stuff is a little overrated, especially when you listen to bands that were around the same time. Bands like Jay and the Americans, the Turtles, the Zombies, they were making excellent music. And the Beatles, the first like 5 or so albums, I mean, it's not as impressive as the stuff that came later. So yeah, I mean, I think if you look at it that way, sure, they can be overrated. But then at the same time, their later stuff is so influential because they did it first that it's hard to listen to new music without hearing old music. Like listening to Radiohead, you hear a lot of Beatles influence in it. Oh, I like that. Talk about my first experiences with certain albums. Yeah. I like that. You know, I feel like I naturally talk about that, but you're talking about that in the sense of making that its own little video. Thank you, Kane. I intend to do more album reviews. I think I like David Lee Roth more Van Halen, but I do like the cheesiness of Hagar Van Halen. What video games do I play? Right now I'm playing Lego City Undercover. But I tend to like the simpler games, the games I can kind of pick up and play, but I do really like Zelda and Mario. Kind of stuff I played as a kid. I like puzzly stuff more than like Street Fighter. Hello, Jaime. Greetings from the USA. Yeah, John Carpenter's been killing it. My friend just went and saw him play a concert on Halloween. What's my top 5 rock, hard rock, and rock and roll albums of all time? Man, that's something I have to sit down and write out. I like Jethro Tull. For the longest time as a kid, I thought Jethro Tull was a man. Just like I thought Leonard Skinner was a man. Oh, simpler times, simpler times. Oh, so what's everyone excited about end of the year? What's going on with you guys? What are you guys excited about? I had to refresh the chat because it kind of bogged on me here. A vegan trash metal band? Faged? That's awesome. Yeah, I did some stuff with Conan O'Brien when he had his Tonight Show. I was his vampire assistant. But Conan lost his job and I lost my job. But I mean, I played his assistant. I wasn't actually his assistant. But I do go over and say hi on occasion. I'm still friends with a lot of the people behind the scenes. And I've been on there since on his new show, but not lately. Oh, cool. All right. So you got rehired at your old job. Great. Congrats on working again. You're going back to Italy in January. Do you do crate digging there? I didn't have any luck trying to find a record shop in Italy. Of course, I was in Tuscany, which I don't think is a great place to try to find records. Have I done any Genesis album reviews? I have not. I haven't heard Concrete and Gold by Foo Fighters yet. How do I pick the records for pick of the week? Generally, I go by what you guys request, and I see which ones get like a lot of votes. Like right now, St. Vincent, her new album is very popular, so I'm gonna take a listen to it, and if I really enjoy it, I'm gonna use that as pick of the week. If I don't like it that much, or I'm kind of conflicted on it, I might use it as a first impressions. So Tim asked an interesting question. Is there a band or artist that has quit because of a death, or they just went separate ways, and do you think they could have gone a long way? I mean, it's interesting because you look at a band like Joy Division, and that's exactly what happened. They reformed and became New Order. That's really interesting. Where it gets kind of sad is like Leonard Skinner, or just like Hendrix. But Hendrix is kind of, I mean, he wasn't, but he kind of was a one-man show. I mean, that stuff's always sad. I mean, honestly, just the Beatles, man. Had John not been killed, who knows? They probably could have. I'm sure they would have came back and did something. And just to hear what John would have come up with later in his life, it would have been fascinating. But then again, it might not have been that great. I don't know. Gene Simmons' Vault. What is that? What do I think of picture discs? They're pretty to look at, terrible to play. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy them, but I think they look awesome. They're a conversation piece. They're a collector's item. They're not really great records to listen to. What? Trent Reznor's releasing the Quake soundtrack on vinyl? Oh, wow. Yeah, his vinyl goes for crazy amounts of money. The local record shop had a copy of Downward Spiral for $100, and it was gone the next day. I thought about buying it, but I was like, dang. But I think that was an original issue. Oh, thanks for Googling me on Conan, yeah. It was cool, man. It was fun times being on the Conan, the Tonight Show. Thought about turntable reviews. Yeah, totally. It's just expensive because I'm such a small channel, I have to buy the turntables themselves. So I just haven't done it, man. But I was able to get the U-Turn Orbit record player at a slight discount, but I still had to buy it. Thank you, Gabrielle. Thank you very much. So Brennan, you would like to see thrift shop videos? Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I bought this Elvis box set that I shouldn't have bought. It was like over $200. It was stupid. Zeppelin, I definitely want to cover Zeppelin, but you guys gotta let me know what album you want me to cover. For those of you who are just joining, I don't know if there are still people just joining, but if you could take a moment and fill out the survey, there's a card up in the corner or down below, there's a description. It's a Google Docs survey, it's anonymous, I'm not collecting emails, but I just kind of want to gauge your interest, what you think of the channel. So if you just take a moment to fill that out, that's kind of what we're talking about, but honestly right now, everything's game, we're just hanging out, playing some music. Oh geez, man, it's so weird. This chat keeps freezing on me. I keep having to hit refresh. I gotta get an Ethernet cable for this computer. John supposedly wanted to reunite the Beatles in the 80s. Yeah, man, seriously, there's an alternate universe where they're just killing it. What? Gene Simmons is selling a safe with all his unreleased stuff for $50,000? We could do a GoFundMe for that, maybe. And just share the proceeds of that. I just don't think, I think that's kind of ridiculous. But it might be worth it just to meet Gene. How's the acting career going? Haven't stopped. I still have all the same people. I have 2 different agents and a manager, and I still go out for things. But it's been slow. It's been slow for me, and I think I'm maybe I don't know. There could be many reasons why it's slow. But I'm kind of in a weird in-between age where I'm a little too old to play young and I'm a little too young to play old. So by old, I mean like 35. I don't really look 35, even though I am 35. Do I have any tips for reel to reel? Ooh, I don't. My tip is don't get into it. It's too expensive. No. I don't have any tips. I've never been able to find a player for a decent amount of money. Or I shouldn't say that, for the amount of money I want to pay, which isn't a lot. So I haven't dived into reel to reel. But there's a lot of great channels on here that, like Techmoan is a good channel to check out because he's got a pretty decent reel to reel. He's fairly knowledgeable, so I would check out his channel. Yes, I've heard the band London Grammar. I do enjoy them. I haven't listened to Neil Young's Hitchhiker. I hear good things, but I don't know. What do you guys think? What do I think about rap taking over the music scene? Yeah, I think that's where a lot of the most interesting music is coming from. I think it's great. It's very thought-provoking. It's interesting. I don't necessarily relate to everything that's going on, but I really like it. Thank you very much, Christian. Reviewing an album by Can. I'm not familiar with Can. Who is Can? I gotta change this record. Hang on one second, guys. All right. Okay. My top 3 favorite bands. Oh man, I love Weezer. Classic, I would have to kind of go with the Beatles. And then a third band, I don't know, man. Maybe David Bowie. I haven't heard of Milo or Open Mike Eagle. They must be obscure because I have not heard them. Have I seen the documentary Searching for Sugar Man? No, but I've seen the trailer of it. It looks really good. Oh, Can is German krautrock rock and avant-garde funk stuff. Cool. Okay. I'll have to check them out. If I could get a hold of any record, limited release, colored, oh. You know, just for the novelty of it, I would love to see that Aliens soundtrack record with the liquid inside of it that Mondo put out not too long ago. Do I replace all my paper inner sleeves with mobile fidelity, like rice paper paper? I tend to. The records that I think are worth more, or the ones I really care about, I'll put them in that. But I'm not opposed to using paper sleeves with the inner polyline paper sleeves. I'm not against that. Oh, so if I like Bad Bad Not Good, I'll like Can. Sweet. I will have to check them out. That sounds really cool. I'll look them up. I know I did, okay, so I did a review on Pet Sounds. So what's my review of the rest of the Beach Boys discography? You know, to summarize, the Beach Boys, I mean, they're an interesting band to look at because they definitely hit a creative peak with Pet Sounds. I mean, leading up to that, it's kind of happy-go-lucky music. And then, you know, Pet Sounds hits and it's like amazing. And then like you're really anticipating the follow-up, and that's kind of a letdown. And then Mike Love kind of takes over and it goes back into like their old ways. But then in the 70s, they have kind of this rebirth that people just ignored them. Like they were really trying as a band to do something different. And a lot of their stuff in the 70s is really cool. But then by the 80s roll around, it's back to like, you know, Kokomo, like kind of real cheeseball stuff. So, you know, that's a band that could have been if Brian Wilson hadn't have gone off his rocker the way that it happened. If he actually got some help, that band could have been. I think we might be talking about them more than we are. But at this point, I think they get kind of written off as like a pop rock band, unfortunately. Cool, so Sun Dodger 1 says doing these live chats once or twice a month would be a good addition. Yeah, I think so too. I want to do that. I also want to have some other people on here as well, so it's not just me. Because if it's just me, bathroom breaks are not a possibility, I'm telling you. I got to be here. So Jerry Goldsmith or John Williams? I would say John Williams just because of Star Wars and Indiana Jones, but that doesn't mean I don't like Jerry Goldsmith. Or Osric Tentacles. I have not heard them. Yeah, I do plan on reviewing a Megadeth album at some point. What hair products do I use? I use American Crew products. I have not reviewed any of Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, but I do own some of that. So Tago Mago is a great album by Can. Okay, I will add that to my wish list on Discogs if I can find it. And I'm not finding it. There it is. Cool. Have you ever listened to a band called The Thrills? Irish band in the early to mid 2000s. Yes, I love The Thrills. They do a song called Santa Cruz, right? I'm pretty sure. I think that's who that is. I love that album. How do I add this to my wish list? I have to go down to the bottom, maybe. Discogs on mobile is not the best idea. Add to list. How do I add? Jeez, okay, that was annoying. What do I think of the new Weezer album? I haven't heard it yet. Sunflower is another great Beach Boys album. Okay. What do I think of the Gorillaz? They've never really interested me that enough. The Gorillaz are a band I never, other than their latest album, Humans, really got into them. So I don't know. I'm on the fence with them. Would I ever lend out a record to a friend? Of course. Do I prefer original pressings over reissues? Generally original pressings, but some cases the reissues are better, as in the case of Kind of Blue by Miles Davis. The reissues corrected some things that make it for a better listening experience. Thank you, Lai. Be careful with Tago Mago. The band was studying Aleister Crowley while recording the album, and there's some really sinister stuff on it. Really? That might be a Halloween type thing. That's interesting. Why can't I add this to my wish list? This is ridiculous. Maybe I know why. I have to pick out a copy of it. That's why. So stupid. Can you do a band history reviews like Zeppelin, Beatles, Stones, and top 10 videos? Oh, Well, thank you, Oliver. You are, what time is it over there, man? That's crazy in Germany. Yeah, that's a great idea. So that could be cool. That could be like a kind of overview of a band, sort of like, yeah, that's interesting. I could be into that. Mr. Wolf, I actually did a whole review on Donuts by Jay Dilla. Go ahead and search for that. Do I like the Strokes? I do. I don't know if I like them as people, but I like the band. I like the music they make. How about that? You know, I have interest in Alice Cooper review. It just comes down to like what you guys vote. Am I a fan? Or what I mean by that is I kind of do my reviews based on the number of votes I get for a particular album. So the more votes I get tends to raise that album up more, and I don't get a lot of requests for Alice Cooper, which is why I haven't really done much with them. Am I a fan of My Bloody Valentine? Of course. Am I hip to River Cuomo's Japanese language albums, Rivers and Scott? No, I don't know that. That's pretty cool, huh? Oh, don't apologize, Mr. Wolf. No worries, man. I did that a couple years ago. I don't fault you for not knowing I did that. Don't worry. Perhaps a segment on bands that should have gotten big but failed for one reason or another would be cool. Huh. That's an interesting subject. Yeah. I like that idea. It's a good idea. What do I think is the best soundtrack by a famous artist? Like the Labyrinth soundtrack. Oh gosh. I mean, I really like the stuff that Vangelis has done, as well as Tangerine Dream. They did several soundtracks. Yeah, that's a great question. Am I into the singer-songwriter genre, like Nick Drake, Townes Van Zandt, or Gene Clark? I think so. I mean, I like Nick Drake a lot. I'm not as familiar with the other two guys. So you recommend Borderline Cases by Radical Dance Faction. Okay. What's my favorite Bruce Springsteen album? It's, what is it, Darkness on the Edge of Town? I think that's the one I like. It's not like his most famous. Yeah, that's the one. I really like that one. Thought about a ranked series where you rank albums from a certain band to worst. Oh, that's a great idea. Doesn't, I know Stereo Gum does that, but doesn't Needle Drop? Doesn't he do that? I don't know. I feel like he does. But maybe I'm getting him confused with someone else. But I like that. Ranking discographies of bands. Cool. That's a great idea. Wrote it down. Ooh, Vangelis had a 60s band called Aphrodite's Child? No, I didn't know that. That sounds cool. Yeah, Harry. Yeah, I do plan on doing some Beatles solo stuff. Probably Ram. Hey, San Pedro. Or as everyone else says, Pedro, California. Ever heard of Ty Segall? Yes, of course. I did a pick of the week on his previous album, not his latest. Favorite Pink Floyd album? Ooh. Probably Dark Side. I know it's cliche though. Have I reviewed Bad Brains 1982 self-titled? No, I have not. What do I think of Ty Segall? Ty Segall, he's good. I like him, but it tends to get a little monotonous. Like, I think he might do better if he released fewer albums and just sort of focused his work on like the best songs, but I don't know. Yeah, the Antlers, I know them, they're good. I haven't listened to Since I Left You by the Avalanches yet. Young Fathers, I have them saved on my Amazon wish list. Yes, I have heard Peter Green's guitar and vocal work. I really like what they were doing back in the day. So wait, Sun Dodger says bands or artists that transitioned into writing soundtracks. Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo. Oh, he did. He did the Thor Ragnarok soundtrack. You know who'd be good too is Danny Elfman, coming from Oingo Boingo. That guy just killed it. I don't have any thoughts yet on All Things Must Pass by George Harrison. Yes, I will do The Doors. It's gonna be L.A. Woman. Do I like AC/DC? I do. Yeah. I don't know if I have a favorite album of theirs. In the US, they kind of screwed up their discography, as far as I understand it. I don't know Joe Henry. Okay, I'll check him out. Joe Henry. What is some corniest, embarrassing music you used to like? Oh, so yeah. What is some music I'm embarrassed to admit that I used to like as a younger person? Creed, yeah. I admit to liking Creed at one point. And Blues Traveler, I liked. And I'm okay with liking Third Eye Blind. I still like them. But there was some really bad 90s bands. There was some other stuff I'm blanking on right now. Could I do some videos on local record stores or shopping videos? Okay, that's a great idea, Oliver. Yeah, that's definitely one of the things on my survey that I'm dabbling in. Maybe I'll do that. So Christian asks, do I play any instruments and I've ever played in a band? Yeah, I kind of cover that in my listening journey video I released a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I play guitar, and I was in a rockabilly duo, and I was in a marching band, concert band, playing trumpet. Do I have any favorite Yes albums? I mean, yes and no. I really like Yes, but I don't know if I have a favorite album. What inspired me to start this channel? The short answer is online reviewers like Angry Video Game Nerd and Nostalgia Critic really inspired me to want to do something similar, but my love of vinyl got me to want to talk about vinyl records. So that's kind of the short answer. If you want the more long answer, go check out my video I did on my collecting journey that came out not too long ago. I do listen to the Smiths. I like them a lot. I'm a fan of the Police and Sting. Yes, I'm a fan of the Police, and I like early Sting. Before he gets into like a Brand New Day, he kind of loses me. Whoa, someone else just said something. Hang on. So maybe do a series about albums that influenced my life in some way. Okay. Sure. Yeah, okay, yeah, I like that. I like that as a special, I could do that. Yeah, I need to pick up a copy of All Things Must Pass. It's something I just don't come across it at all. I need to just pony up and throw down money for a new copy or a used copy. Yes, Raw Power. I think I own that actually. Okay, that guy with the spoons, you should be a comedian here. If a person from Iceland meets a person from Cuba and they have a child, is that child an ice cube? Nice Cuba. Will I do any more David Bowie? Definitely, and I will cover Oasis at some point. Yes, I definitely plan on doing that. Had to refresh the stream here. It just doesn't seem to... Oh dear. Oh boy. Here we go. Now we're live again. That was weird. That was scary. Okay, so someone asked me about HBO's show Vinyl. You know, Vinyl had its moments, but I totally understand why it was canceled. Like, the main character was super unlikable, and it just, there was something not right about it, and I am not surprised that they canceled it. Like, the pilot cost like $1 million. It was just hard for me to care about anybody, because it was like, you're an asshole and you have all this money and you're making stupid decisions. Why should I care about you? You know what I mean? So I had a hard time liking anybody on that show. More Vinyl Me Please unboxings. Well, unfortunately, you know, they're not friendly with me anymore, so I'd have to like pay for a subscription. So I don't know, if I get enough interest, maybe I'll go back to that. But right now, it took up a lot of time to do those unboxings. Maybe I should cover After the Gold Rush or Harvest by Neil Young. Yes, those are high up on the request list, so I will get to them. About what age did I start collecting records? I think I was 12, 13, or 14, right around then. Whoa, I think I just... Did I ever explore more death grips after Bottomless Pit? I haven't, because I've been sidetracked with other records and stuff, but I do plan on checking out... That was a weird sound. I do plan on checking out more of their stuff. Well, thank you, Afterlife Battlefront. Wait, what is that? Oh, yeah. That's, thank you very much. Wow. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Oh, why aren't I friendly with them? No, it's not too behind the scenes. It's not that I'm not friendly with them. It's just that they were very professional and said, look, we love what you're doing. We want to take our mixing videos in a different direction, and we'll still send you albums. And I was like, great, that sounds awesome. And then they just decided to cancel my account. So nothing is bad. Like, I'm sure I could reach out again, but at this point, you know, it's kind of like free advertising for them, and I'm not in love with the service, so I kind of want to do my own thing, and it took time away from me writing reviews for the show, and I kind of want to put more focus into writing in-depth album reviews. So maybe when this thing picks up more, I might do more of that, but that's kind of where it's at. Hang on, I'm gonna change this record real quick. Flip it over. Oh. Yeah, Owen talks about, that sounds like the last song. Owen talks about maybe doing some more vloggy type stuff where I do shopping for records. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Lazy Game Reviews, but he does LGR Thrifts. And I've been wanting to do something similar with that, but like, I'm so sporadic when it comes to shopping for records. Like, I would have to do, well, I guess he does this too, where he takes a couple of months to do one video, but yeah, I could do something like that. I'd have to get those glasses that he wears, though. He has these glasses as a camera right there, so he can be incognito. Afterlife Battlefront asks, oh, thank you again. Do I do all the editing and writing? Yes, pretty much I am a one-man show at this point, and that's because like it's a labor of love, and I don't really make a lot of money doing this, but I love it, I'm passionate about it, and I'm also very particular, and I'm protective, and I've had one person in the past try to edit a video, and it wasn't up to snuff, and it took more time than it was to me just to edit it. And again, same with writing. I've reached out to people before to help write, but I end up just having to rewrite it anyway. So, but I have had people write, like, here are the points you should talk about, and that actually does help. Have I heard a Tribe Called Quest? Of course, they're great. Do I look up to any music reviewers in particular? I wouldn't say I look up to them, but I definitely look to, well, in particular, the Needle Drop. Like, I like to see what he's doing and how he does things. Do I like Frank Turner and the Sleeping Souls? Ooh, I have to check them out. So, Lebo Friak asks, how many records do I own? Over 1,000, maybe 2,000. And am I keeping all of them or am I selling some? I keep most and I sell some. And I do buy up some just to trade at my local record shop. Haven't heard anything by the Stranglers. I think I have. I think so. So George says that he wishes I would go more into detail about the pressing itself. Okay, that's a great idea. I tend to go into that on my larger album reviews, but yeah, it'd be cool to touch on like what versions to avoid, definitely. You know, John Paul, I really don't pay attention to Record Store Day. I really don't. So I'm not that excited about it. Thank you, Afterlife Battlefront TM. That's a great. Do you have is that a channel? What do you do? He says, I really appreciate all the free content you provide. Thank you for continuing the show. My man. You're very welcome, and thank you very much again for your generosity. Yes, Kilgore, thank you for mentioning that. Mo Fidelity, QRP, Sterling, all great pressers. Really can't go wrong. Although I do note that certain Mobile Fidelity pressings are better than others, but it's very rare that they're bad. A great resource for that is the Steve Hoffman forums. They're a great resource. There's people that just talk about pressings till the cows come home. Oh no, you don't. I'm sorry. I wish I knew other languages other than English, but I really don't. But I appreciate you tuning in. I'm not going to say your name right, but I'm sorry. Owen asked any thoughts about White Stripes and Jack White. You know, Jack White, I don't instantly love his voice, so I haven't really gotten into any of his solo stuff. I like the few White Stripes stuff that were big hits, but I think I love the music videos maybe more. Yeah, I'm into Arctic Monkeys. Yes, I plan on doing a Let It Be sound review, definitely. The perfect vinyl weight, I would say anything above 180 is overkill. I think 180 gram vinyl is pretty much the gold standard, but I'm fine with 150 grams, anything between those two. Voodoo Child asks if I use Discogs a lot. Absolutely. I'm probably on Discogs on a daily basis. I actually have a user account, and I linked it in the description if you guys want to check that out. Yes, Kilgore, every day is Record Store Day. Absolutely. And definitely support local record shops, because they are really what keeps the hobby going, man. And you know, they're great to make friends with, and it's awesome to do trades with, because sometimes, you know, you'll be able to turn in 5-10 records and you'll get that one record you really wanted. Get some more water here. Whew, man. Sunday fun day. Everyone have a good Halloween? Those who celebrate Halloween? Mine was pretty good. I was Elliot from E.T. and then I went to a Halloween masquerade ball and I was Jareth from Labyrinth. Do I think that in the future more people will embrace vinyl, especially young people? You know, I think we'll see this trend of vinyl is it's going up, right? But I think it's going to start to level off, and I think I don't think it will increase much more, just because it's expensive. It's a hobby. I mean, it's sort of like retro video games are now, especially with younger people getting into video game systems that weren't around when they were a kid. Wait, the Beatles Christmas record box? There was I didn't even know about that. Oh, that's awesome. People will translate my videos. That's so cool. Any vintage audio equipment that I recommend? Anything by Marantz is excellent. Pioneer, snatch that stuff up. And then there's a couple of other. Yamaha is an okay brand. They're like mid-grade. They're not like the best. They're also not the worst when it comes to vintage stuff. Monarch pressings are awesome. Yes, they are. Yes, Matt, how's it going, man? Good to hear from you. Oh, cool, you dressed up like Shaun of the Dead. That's awesome. Do I have any Japanese pressings? I only have one Japanese pressing, and it's Japanese folk music. It's not very exciting. Nice, you got Queen's News of the World for 20 bucks. That's awesome. Yes, I own quite a few shellac records. Shellac was generally the material before vinyl that most 78s are pressed on. Have I heard Sgt. Pepper's in mono? Yeah, I own a mono copy of it. Yeah, it doesn't sound that different to me, but it could be the age of the vinyl. Do I play Xbox? No, I don't have an Xbox. Yeah, I like Cinemassacre. I've sort of not enjoyed the Angry Video Game Nerd as much as I like the newer content. It's a new box. Oh, there's a new box of Beatles stuff. Of course there is. Have you ever heard anything from Dexy's Midnight Runners? I think I have one album by them. Nice. Do I own any acetates? Yeah, I got a couple acetates. I actually did a awesome finds on an acetate I found at a thrift store. I don't think it was as cool as I think it is, though. Yeah, I know, Harrison. I have Spiderland by Slint. I'm gonna do a first impressions on it. I don't think I have Hosono House. I don't think so. Oh, I see, Adrian. You're saying a series where I decide between commonly compared albums. Okay. Or two artists. Okay, so like you pit two artists like Nirvana versus Soundgarden, or Kid A versus OK Computer. That's interesting. I haven't heard the new St. Vincent yet. How long do I spend on my hair? I don't know, 15 minutes. But then there's like a maintenance thing. You gotta keep working on it. So have I ever done a blind comparison between vinyl and digital music? No, I haven't, but to me, yeah, I haven't. I love music, and I always encourage people to listen to music however you can. I love vinyl because of the physicality of it. But, you know, God forbid something should happen and I lose all my records. It's more important for me to like have the ability to listen to music. And in some ways, you know, digital is a little easier, especially on a road trip. You got to listen, you know, it's just easier to have a digital version of albums, you know. Did I get a chance to check out Foxtrot by Genesis? Not yet. No love for Rush? Oh, of course, I love Rush. They're such a fascinating band. They put out a lot of great albums that, you know, I kind of feel like they don't get talked enough about. I feel like they get sort of brushed aside. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the US or maybe it's California, but yeah. Do I think Revolver is better than Sgt. Pepper's? I don't know if it's a better album, but I tend to like Revolver more than Sgt. Pepper's. I play guitar mostly. Did I ever own a recent vinyl that sounded like a crap MP3? I have. You have. What album would that be? I can't say offhand that I had that experience, but I'm curious to know what you have to say. I really like Moving Pictures by Rush. I think I said that right. Do I like Oliver? I don't know what that band is. Do I like Aphex Twin? You know, they came out at a time where I was really against that style of music, so I should really revisit them. So I'm taking the fifth on Aphex Twin. Holy crap, guys. I need to use a restroom. Have I ever heard the Monkees? Of course, of course. The Monkees, yeah, I loved the Monkees back in the day. You know what? I might come right back. Let me see if I can. Yeah. I hope that's working. I don't know. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry. Ooh. Okay, let's get back to business here. Okay, I am back. How's everybody doing? Okay, whew, feel better. Okay, you should have people vote on like a fan pick record once a month or something, where you review a pressing of an album as well as the album itself, whichever gets the most. Did everything come out okay? Yeah, of course it did, Matt. Come on now. I'm a healthy guy. I just drink a lot of water. I have tea. I love tea. I drink tea in the morning and I have like 3 pots of Earl Grey tea, and it like gets me going, but then like it gets me going, if you know what I mean. Too much information. I'm so sorry. So I like that idea, Matthew. That could be something I would probably do on the Patreon page if I do get that up and running, but I like that idea. Fan picked record. That would be cool. I like that idea. Is it? Yeah, it is slightly warped. Good catch. That is, that's, you know, it's a thin record of Labyrinth there. Thin pressing. Have you ever dived into Kanye West? And if so, what's your favorite record? You know, I haven't. What's up, Bradford? I haven't. I should. I should dive into him a little bit. What's the first record I personally bought? I'm pretty sure it was Leonard Skinner's Platinum and Gold, or Gold and Platinum. Wu-Tang Clan. I never got into them, man. Oh, well, thanks, Jake. What episode or what skit did you watch on Conan? Do you know of a good, cheap, portable record player? I don't think good and cheap go together when it comes to a portable record player. I don't think so. Jaime, what's going on, man? No one hates you. It's all love here. It's all love in the chat here, man. My favorite tea is Earl Grey. Omhead tea from the UK is awesome. But I also like the Chinese smoky tea. Yeah, Thaddeus knows what's up with tea. Whew, gets you going. Yeah. I'm gonna get some more water here. My little pitcher. This probably sounds really bad on the stream. Yeah. Chat feels frozen again. I don't know why it does this to me. Yeah. Gosh, the chat gets frozen for some reason. His chat has become intimate. Whoa, hey now. Do I have any ABBA records? I do. I have like a greatest hits, and then I have one of their last albums. I'm blanking on the name of it. Do I like The Roots? Yeah, man, The Roots are great. Gather a record of your fans' songs and review it. Huh. Thoughts on cassette tapes? I mean, cassette tapes were awesome as a kid because they were cheap. You could make mixtapes. You could trade them with friends. You could copy them. Not that I did that. Yeah, I don't really collect them now. Do I like the Stray Cats? Yeah, man, they're so good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Harry, what are you doing? You're gonna kill me. Freddie Mercury or David Bowie? That's not a fair fight, man. That's not fair. Kilgore, yes, U-turn Orbit is a lower cost, worthwhile turntable. Yeah, only buy vintage if you know what you're doing. Yeah, vintage has its own set of problems. I would agree with that, Kilgore. I would look at projects. Those are great. Mobile Fidelity just came out with a turntable. Have you guys messed around with one of those? Dark Side of the Moon or Wish You Were Here? I'm gonna go with Dark Side, man. Hey Daniel, how's Mexico doing? What's the weather like right now? Okay, so John says I should do a new series where I talk about records I've bought or have in your collection that are very badly pressed or bad albums. Like bad music albums, is that what you mean? Like they're just bad? Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. That's a good idea. I like that. Have I ever met anyone from the Twilight movies? Yeah, actually. Oh, wait. Yes. I've met Robert Pattinson and what's her name? What's her name? The girl. Who's the main girl from it? I can't think of her name right now. I met two of the leads. Yeah. I don't think they know about Breaking Wind. Riga Planter 3 from the 80s. I didn't know they had stuff in the 80s. I don't know. I've never messed around with a Riga, but they're a respectable brand. Any thoughts on pot? That's a great question, Owen. I don't do a lot of drugs at all. I do alcohol and I do caffeine, like you can call those drugs. But no, I don't. I've partaked. I don't really like smoke in my face, so I've done edibles before, and that that put me over the edge, man. Do I have sugar in my tea? No, I don't. I don't do sugar. It's just straight water and tea. I mean, it's just straight tea, black. Have I ever played a Fallout game? No, I haven't. Really? Okay, cool. I'll check out the soundtrack to really the ink spots. That's interesting. Do I watch Anthony Fontano? I don't follow him, but yeah, I mean, I pop in on occasion just to see what he's up to, what he's doing, but I don't follow him, mostly because I don't want his opinion to color my opinion of an album, so I tend not to listen to what he has to say. But sometimes I'll check in after I've done something, if you know what I mean. Here's a new record I just picked up. Super Humanoids Exhibitionists. I'm going to talk about it on an upcoming Awesome Finds. This one's kind of warped too, huh? Kristen Stewart, thank you. Ever listen to Ariel Pink? Yeah. Yes. Remember, all medicines are drugs, but not all drugs are medicines. Yeah, that's true. I like that. Do I like Nine Inch Nails? Yes and no. They're not my go-to band. Is Fallout available on like a PC? Because I don't think I have a console that will play Fallout. What color is my toothbrush? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I actually use toothpaste with peroxide after I drink a bunch of tea, just to get rid of it, the staining, just to help prevent it. This is, man, I don't know if any of you guys have ever done live streaming, but it's kind of fun. It's my second time doing it, and it's interesting how this all works. Like, it doesn't always tell me all the information I need. Huh. What do you guys drink? What do you guys like more, coffee or tea? Okay, cool, Jake, thanks. I can play Fallout on PC. Meet and greet with local fans. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I mean, that's a dumb answer. Of course I know how to do that. I haven't, I guess I could do something at like Vacation Vinyl. and like I could work it out with Mark, the owner, and maybe like spin some records and just do like a hangout on like a Saturday. That'd be kind of fun. I'll talk to him about that. Would I like to visit Portugal someday? You know, that would be fun. I've never been out that way. That'd be cool. Have I ever listened or heard of Radical Face? I don't think so. I should review Joy Division. Yeah. Coffee or tea? Coffee and tea, Catfish Hunter. Okay. Tannin allergy, no coffee or tea here. Oh, wow. So do you just, how do you need caffeine in the morning, or what do you do to kind of get going in the morning, Zoe? What passive speakers would I recommend in and around passive? You know, I'll tell you what I use, but those are, I don't think they're not under 100 pounds. I'm not sure, man. Anybody else have an idea? What do I think of quadraphonic stereo system and records? You know, I would love to get into it, but I've only ever found one quadraphonic decoder receiver, and it's never been something that I've been able to get into. But the guys that are into it, it's amazing. Like, I think it's a really cool thing. Do I like Diplo? Yes, I do. Check Gustavo Cerati. Greetings from Colombia. Well, hello, Robbie. Boston Acoustics. Thank you, Kilgore. I actually just picked up a pair of Cantos. I think they have their lowest level series might be passive, but I don't know. Actually, this I think it's a YU2. I would look at them. Canto. They're out of Canada, but I don't know what they're pricing. I think it might be over 100 pounds. Blah 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 blah. Have I ever been to Cheap Thrills Record and Bookstore? Yeah, I think I've been that. Wait, San Luis Obispo. I was thinking of Ventura. No, I don't think I've been there. Yeah, I love Tecmone. I think he does great stuff. On a Lonely Island, which album would I pick? Led Zeppelin 2, Led Zeppelin 4, The Beatles' White Album, Sticky Fingers, or Jimi Hendrix Experience, Are You Experience, US version? I'll pick the White Album. Any favorite TV series at the moment? It's not my favorite, but I've been watching a lot of Hawaii Five-0 because my wife and I were friends with Jorge, and he has a character on that. So we watch it kind of for him. And it's kind of a fun show because it's in Hawaii. But I really like Stranger Things too. And other than that, yeah, I haven't been watching too many new shows. Have I heard of any Portuguese bands? No, the only band I don't really know any Portuguese bands offhand. I know of Os Mutantes, but they're Brazilian, but they speak Portuguese, right? Did I like Robert Plant's last release? I didn't hear it, man. I just, I don't know. Robert Plant, I guess I'll check it out. I don't know. Oh, man. Hey, Leonard. Or how do you say that? Lenart? You don't pronounce the T, do you? What are my thoughts on the wave of digital releases and refusing to release physical? Are you thinking of a particular band in general? I think like for bands that are like just trying to get their music out there, I'm totally okay with that because it's a huge expense just to put out vinyl. Although it is cheaper to put out cassettes, so I mean, it really depends on the artist, and If it's like a well-known artist, I think that's kind of lame. But I mean, at the very least, if you're not gonna put out CD, you should at least put out a record. Oh, thank you, DJ Di Paolo. He or she said they liked the Polyrock album review. Thanks. I don't think that one gets a lot of love. Have I ever heard of Christian Scott Atun Ajad? No. Radiohead covers? Cool. I'll check that out. Favorite Sinatra album? I think In the Wee Small Hours of the Night. I think that's I'm messing up the title, but I think that's the one I like a lot. I also like Come Fly With Me. My next review is going to be OK Computer by Radiohead. Oh, so Kanye West says, oh, yeah, you know, I find that with hip hop, a lot of releases don't get put out physically. Oh, the T is spoken, so it's Leonard. That's correct. Thank you for the clarification. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because I feel like with a lot of hip hop and albums like it doesn't always translate well to the vinyl format. Like when you think of, I'm blanking on his name right now. Flying Lotus, a lot of his stuff doesn't sound, I mean, it sounds good on vinyl, but it doesn't really translate well, if that makes any sense. So, I don't know. Man or Astro Man? I've heard of Man or Astro Man. Yeah, they're pretty cool. So check out Novos. Okay. Amanda Palmer. Who is Amanda Palmer? That name's familiar, but I don't know why. Did I hear any of the new Beck album? I heard one song off of it, and it kind of made me scratch my head. When will we see more cocktails? You will see them when I produce more album reviews. So I have one in the works for my Radiohead episode. I don't really like live albums that much. I don't know if I have a favorite. So Thadel, I hope I'm saying your name right, has an idea. Records were changed my opinion over time. Stuff you initially hate or loved, then completely came around over time. And I can see it going the other way too. That's a good one. Review the NSYNC Christmas album. You just got it on vinyl. I remember when that came out. Joshua, it will be OK Computer, but I will do a separate video focusing on OK Not OK, the third LP of that record. Wow, I didn't realize original Dr. Dre's The Chronic goes for $150. That's too bad that the reissues are terrible. That sucks. My thoughts on Thundercat. Thundercat, you know, Thundercat is a band I thought would sound completely different than it does, but I really like the sound. Pickle Rick, I do plan on talking about the LA Woman by the Doors. Do I find it difficult to find late 80s, early 90s vinyl in the wild? Yeah. And when I do find it, I definitely snatch it up. That sounds terrible. Snatch it up. I should review a Tool album. Yeah, sure. Yeah. If any of you haven't done it yet, I'm coming down to like the last 30 minutes of the stream. So I just wanted to put out a reminder. If you haven't yet done it, feel free to go fill out the survey. There's a card that will link you to it, as well as there's a link down in the description below. But it's just basically a survey of what you like about the channel, what you think could use improvement. And there's also some things on a Patreon, if that even is of interest to you, and what you think of the current rewards I'm thinking about. So take some time out, fill that out. It's pretty simple stuff. I would really appreciate it. Eternally Even by Jim James. Why do I know that? Why do I know that? Jim James. Oh, wait. I don't know. I'm confusing that with Jim Jones. I'm not familiar, actually. How long does it take to put out an album review? It generally will take a week. A solid 5 to 7 days, 9 to 5 hours, or sorry, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. kind of hour days to do an album review. And that's from the writing to the shooting to the editing. But unfortunately, I'm not able to like devote a whole week to it, so I have to work on it in fits and spurts, so it takes longer than I want. I don't have a Rate Your Music account. I'll look into it though. Would you like to go to Sweden or maybe do a meet and greet? Yeah, dude, Sweden would be cool. I'd be totally down with a meet and greet. Jim James from My Morning Jack. Oh, that's why it's so familiar. Thank you, Robbie. I haven't heard it, but that album came up on my radar. Can I do interviews with people from the record industry? Yeah, I mean, I'd love to. Part of the reason I haven't put a lot of effort into that is because, again, I'm a one-man show, so it's like I could either like spend time trying to like ask people to come on the show and like schedule, or I could spend that on an album review. So I don't often put a lot of energy into that, but if I get a lot of response for people wanting me to do that, I could reach out to the few people I sort of know and kind of build rapport from there. Thank you very much, Willie H. Thank you. Thank you. Oh man. I should probably clean up my records a little bit. They're kind of strewn all over the place here. Whoa. What else is going on? Not much, man. This year's been kind of crazy. It's just been a lot of personal stuff got in the way of me producing episodes. So I hope to get back on track this, oh dear, this next year. I definitely want to put out more content. I think the chat has frozen on me again. Let me double check. Yep, totally froze on me. Will I do a room tour? I could kind of show you guys a little bit. It's not going to be perfect, but you're kind of familiar with... I have to switch to a different... So yeah, there's where I sit. And it's probably going to get kind of dark. That's like the part... This is the part you guys don't see, and there's all these records back here that I'm gonna eventually review. And if we keep turning, let me unhook this. Apologize, it's just I don't have it lit, that's why it's not that interesting. And we keep going, and there's the bar, and there is more of the couch, and here I am. So this is where we are. Let me flip this record over. Thanks, Owen. I appreciate the feedback on the podcast idea. I've thought a lot about it. How about mildly awesome finds? Yeah, I like that idea. Like, why did I buy this? Why the F did I buy this album? Top 10 vinyl records in anime. Ooh, that's interesting. Leonard, I do play guitar. I used to play trumpet, but not so much. What genre do I feel is the hardest to digest? Black metal is probably up there. Anything with like screaming vocals is hard for me to get into, and the noise. Thank you, Owen. Other than Paranoid, what's your opinion on Black Sabbath's discography? You know, like their first 4 albums are magical, man. I would highly encourage anyone to own at least their first 4 albums. Thank you, Oliver. Yeah, the bar I built. I pretty much built that myself, man. Thank you. What's the best concert I've ever been to? Probably a Weird Al concert, but because he's such a showman. I have such fond memories of seeing Weird Al concert. What do I think of IKEA? I mean, IKEA's accessible. They put out a great solution for record collectors that doesn't hurt the bank. I mean, I have no qualms against them. The last concert I went to was a Prince tribute band called Princess. What do I think of Frank Ocean? I think he's great, man. I just earned an unsub for what? Okay. Yes, people have said I do look like a young Chet Baker. I'm curious to know. Sexist? What did I say that was sexist? Thank you, Oliver. Saint Anger, yay or nay? Oh, Metallica's Saint Anger. You know, I never listened to it. Best Southern Rock, Allman Brothers or Leonard Skinner? Allman Brothers, you know, to me they're more of a blues band, but I'll take you up on this. I would have to go with Allman Brothers. I said black? Oh, okay. What was it in reference to? Speaking of Prince, will you review any other Prince albums? I would love to dive into 1999, Purple Rain, and like Planet Earth, definitely too. I didn't miss much on Saint Anger. Okay. What hair products do I use? I use, oh, my hair doesn't look, it's got a little floppy. I use American Crew. Oliver, you got to see Weezer in England. That's awesome. It's only 2.5 hours from Copenhagen? That's great. Mel Torme, yeah, Mel Torme's, I like him. I don't know, I might have one album by him. Thoughts on Mac DeMarco? You know, I like his stuff, man. I don't know what he does, and I'll admit that sometimes it can be a little samey, but I really like what he does, man. What's the name of the song playing right now? That's a great question. I'm not sure when you're listening to it, but the album is Exhibitionist by Superhumanoids. So, I put that album upside down. It might be Free State that you're hearing. I'm not sure. There's a little delay on the stream. Black metal, yeah. It's a genre, man. Ride the Lightning. Yeah, you know, Metallica is a band that I need to check out the rest of their discography. I mean, their later, like their early stuff. What is the meaning of life to me? According to me, isn't it 62? I thought that wasn't that Douglas Adams thing? Do I always dress in a suit? For the show, yes. In real life, I'm a little, it's LA, it gets hot, so no, I don't always wear a suit. Check out Boy Pablo. Okay, I haven't heard of that. My opinion on Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. They have never captivated me enough to want to like go out and buy their stuff. But they're like Santa Cruz darlings. They would always come around to Santa Cruz because I think their dad is from there or they are from there. I'm not sure exactly. Have I ever heard of the Weaker Thans? I feel like I've heard of a couple of their singles. Do I like wrestling? Are you talking about like WWF style? Like fake wrestling or Olympic style? I don't really have any Japanese vinyl, but I hear amazing things. Like, I think I shouldn't say pound for pound, but I think like release to release, Japanese pressings are even just the packaging is better than what we get. Alex Turner. Okay. Thank you, Oliver. Yes. Austin says, I've ever listened to Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. Yes. I own it. I think that's a great album. Yes, I do plan on doing doing Led Zeppelin, of course. What's the pattern on my tie? That's a great question. It's just a design. I don't know if you can see it any better. Have I ever listened to Brian Jones' Town Massacre? You know, didn't they just put out their last album? Sorry, I got distracted by YouTube flagged a comment as being inappropriate. Yeah, I thought they just put out their last album, didn't they? I don't know. I've been meaning to check them out though. Check out Gustavo Cerati or Kevin Johansson. What are they, man? You know, Primus, not to like get into a debate, but Primus was never a band I was thrilled with. I don't know. But then again, I never really gave them a chance, so I don't know if I really have an opinion. I had to refresh the stream, guys, because not the stream, but my view of the content of the comments. Oliver, you're gonna go see Queens of the Stone Age. That's awesome. Yeah, I bet they're making you broke. How much does a ticket cost to see Gorillaz? What's my favorite Bowie persona? Probably Ziggy. Really, Gorillaz puts on a good concert. How does that even work? They're just like projections, right? Oh, thank you, that guy with the spoons. That took a long time to make. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing more like that. I would love to. Maybe as this show progresses and more people can come on and help, I might be able to do more stuff like that. What do I think about homemade music? Do you often check out underground artists that aren't popular? Yeah, I tend to prefer stuff that's not popular in my own personal taste. Homemade music, definitely, man. Incubus, I remember them. I don't know if I'm a fan. Have I heard Red by the Great King Crimson. Sorry, I can't talk right now. I don't think I've heard Red, no. Am I still listening to Death Grips? Yeah, I've been meaning to go back and check out more of their albums, though. Same with Kendrick Lamar. My favorite band right now has to be Weezer. It's my stupid answer. Wow, $90, huh, for Gorillaz. So it's $90 to go see Gorillaz. I wonder how much it is in the States here. How many times have I listened to Thriller? Oh man, what songs are on that? I get Thriller confused with Bad. I mean, in terms of like what songs come off of what. I gotta look that up. But yeah, MJ's, those 3 albums are so good. Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. Okay, so John says for Gorillaz, the live band plays in front of a screen and they play visuals on the big screen in the back of the virtual band. Okay. Now, is the virtual band synced up with the live band? Yeah, I think Billie Jean and PYT might be my favorite songs off of Thriller. 50 euros in Germany to see Gorillaz. Okay. Well, that's awesome, Drew. What did you think of the White Album? What did you think of Gorillaz in Detroit? Mad Gregerson says, or asks if I'm going to do more Led Zeppelin. Yeah, you know, honestly, Led Zeppelin doesn't get as many requests as the Beatles do, or Rolling Stones. So yeah, I mean, I definitely do. I mean, they're a great band, and I should review them. I don't know why I haven't. Will you do more on The Clash? Yeah, I definitely want to talk about The Clash's debut album. Thank you, Vape Door. Baby Be Mine, that's also a great song, too. Oliver, you got to see Green Day. That's rad. Who are they playing with? Leonard asks if I've checked out the new King Cruel album, and I haven't, but it's on my radar. I need to do it. I get sidetracked with other work. What do I think of the Gorillaz? I don't know, man. I've enjoyed the singles over the years, but they're a band like I just didn't think would work, but yet here they are. They're doing it. So they're kind of a funny thing. They're an enigma to me. What about Bob Seger? Yeah, I like Bob Seger. But I don't like go out and listen to him all the time. But I like his stuff when it comes on the radio. Dude, you saw Flight of the Conchords in concert? That's rad, Kilgore. That's rad. Did I review Jared Way's album? No, I'm not even familiar with that. Benjamin Clementine's new record. I haven't either. What's that one called? Had to refresh the chat again, guys. It keeps bogging down for some reason. I gotta get an Ethernet cable. Oh, I hate this. Will I do a vinyl version of the... will I check out Cowboy Bebop? I hear great things about that anime. I haven't ever listened to it. Green Day had the Interrupters as their support. They're actually really good. She checked them out. Okay, thanks, Oliver. What do I think of live albums? I really have to love the band in order for me to like a live album. Favorite Nostalgia Critic review? You know, I don't have a favorite. Do I know Lord Huron? Yes, but I'm not familiar with Strange Trails. I should do a vinyl collection video. Yeah, I should. Yeah, Robbie, I want to do more cocktail tutorials too. John Paul, thank you for the feedback, man. Yeah, I kind of want to do these like twice a month, these live streams. You know, it's funny, Robbie. I've met Toro Imwa. I run an Airbnb, and he actually came and stayed with me twice. He's a funny guy. I like him. Do you think it's okay to release albums that the artists were not happy with after they pass away? Yeah, I mean, if they've gone on record and said, I don't want this released, and then it gets released, I think that's messed up. And I don't think that should happen. But at the same time, I'm always curious. And like, an artist is not gonna like everything that they make, and sometimes the stuff they think is crap we might really enjoy. So I don't know. It's an interesting question. Oliver, do you find that an issue when it comes to like having conservative views, and then with the idea that a lot of musicians tend to lean more in a liberal way? Is it hard to separate the two? Like, say, like, well, here's a good example, like Bono, for instance. Can you separate his persona from U2, or does that make it hard? Well, thank you, Cashfish Hunter. Favorite albums of the decade. Wow, gosh, we're coming in on a whole decade of music, aren't we? The 2010s are almost done. Man, that sucks. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I love Radiohead. I really do. Coke or Pepsi? How about, I don't know, Coke? I haven't listened to Atomic Heart Mother. It's kind of a hard record to find out in the wild. I suppose I'll probably have to just buy a reissue of that. Or, you know, pay what it's worth. Yeah, Metal is underrated. I think Metal is a great Pink Floyd album. I would agree that it tends to get overlooked, gets overshadowed. I like Fleetwood Mac, you know, I like Fleetwood Mac. I like both. I like Peter Green's and I like the later stuff. Okay, I love OK Computer, and I haven't heard In Rainbows enough to like really say which I like more. Well, thank you, No One Important. I appreciate that feedback of letting me know that you can separate the music from the musician. Okay, cool. So, I'm sorry, I can't say your name. Value Rock Talia. You don't enjoy in-your-face politics and live shows. I came for wholesome music and not really a band's agenda. Politics and music is enjoyable to me when you have to read between the lines. Yeah, that's a great point. My friend recently saw U2, and that really bothered him. It was in your face, and it was like, we came to see a show, not to get lectured to. So yeah, I mean, I think I like the idea of reading between the lines. Yeah, that's a great point. Had to refresh the stream again. I guess I'm going over time now, aren't I? It's 2 o'clock over here. Guess we'll go on a little longer. No, Toro y Moi did not give me his latest LP. I haven't seen him in a couple of years, actually. Yeah, I'm familiar with Trout Mask Replica by Captain Beefheart. I actually own it. Will I compare Let It Be with Let It Be Naked? That would be an interesting comparison. Do I like Kanye West? Yes and no. Trout Mask Replicas in the Library of Congress. I believe that. Thoughts on Jeff Buckley? I don't know yet. I'm still getting into him. Do you have the 3-hour cutoff? I don't know. I could keep going forever, but I tend to get hungry, and I don't want to be sitting there eating food on a live stream. Excuse me, I just burped. Getting hungry. Yeah. Do I like Godspeed You Black Emperor? You know, I've been meaning to get into them and I haven't yet. I'm really bad with that. Wait, Let It Be by the Replacements versus Let It Be by the Beatles. That sounds fun. Great, Jaime. That's a funny joke. I was gonna make a Nirvana joke, but never mind. I like that. Will I ever do avant-garde bands like The Residents? I have one album by them, yeah. I'll probably talk to them at some point. Wait, TPAB, what is that? That's Kendrick Lamar, right? I didn't know it got inducted into Harvard. What do I think about Record Store Day? It makes a bunch of people show up to record stores. I don't know. Record Store Day from the record store perspective is kind of a pain in the ass because you have to like buy so many records in order to get like the few records you want to carry. And it ends up being a very expensive thing, and it ends up not being like the most lucrative thing to be an actual official Record Store Day participant. You're better off just being open on Record Store Day and having some sales. And I think every day is Record Store Day, definitely. I mean, I think Record Store Day started off with good intentions, but now it's just become sort of like a mad dash to buy stuff to be on the secondary market, which I don't like. I don't like artificially making things limited. Why? I think people should be able to get the records that they want. I don't know. No, Daniel, the channel's not in trouble. I want to steer it in the direction that the majority of viewers want to see it go. That's all I want to see. I just want to know what you guys want to know. I just want to know, I just want to see where you guys want to see the channel going. My favorite Christmas song is probably Christmas Time on the Charlie Brown Christmas album. Do I have any movie soundtracks on vinyl? Yeah, I have a ton. Do I listen to Steely Dan? Yeah, I like Steely Dan. Yeah, I'll eventually review The Doors and Led Zeppelin. Do I stream music? Like, yeah, I got Spotify and Amazon Music. Yeah, definitely when I'm checking out music before I buy it, I'll stream it. Just gonna check on the survey response here. Nice, over 200 responses. That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much for participating in the survey. Really appreciate this. Can I put side 2 of Off the Wall playing? I don't even know where my copy is. It's buried somewhere. It's a mess. I don't have a decent storage solution right now for my records. Lust for Life by Iggy Pop versus Lust for Life by Lana Del Rey. I don't know, man. I think Iggy Pop might win that out. So Oliver, you're asking about a Patreon account. I am considering making one. If you go fill out the survey, you can actually see it'll link you to my proposed page, and I have the rewards set up there, and you can let me know what you think works and what doesn't, and what you might be interested in. That would really help me out before I make the Patreon live. Favorite Canadian band? Gosh, you know, I should think more about, like, what is a Canadian band? Isn't Rush Canadian? I haven't listened to the 50-song memoir by Magnetic Fields. I hear it's crazy though. I mean, just the scope of it is, it's a whole life. It's a journey. Milos says, the room looks very well designed and retro, must be expensive. You know, it really wasn't, because a lot of it was handmade. The most expensive part of this room was like some of the light fixtures. The couch was pretty cheap. A lot of this stuff was like made. I got this receiver for $20. This turntable was free. This was like 20 bucks. That lamp, same. Yeah, I mean, if you, I think maybe it's easier in the US, maybe in California, but yeah. Yeah, the OCs, I keep wanting to buy the new album, but it like keeps selling out. I haven't been able to check out Orc, but I do like that. I do like the Ramones. Yeah, Leonard, you want to help with the design of the Patreon? That would be cool, man. Send me an email at info@vinylrewind.tv, or write your email and a comment on the survey. And yeah, probably just send me an email, info@vinylrewind.tv. The Guess Who is a Canadian. Oh, that's right. And that's what makes so much sense about American Woman, that I feel like the new generation just goes over their head. Lenny Kravitz just ruined that song. Although the guitar work on that is pretty good though. That guy with spoons asked if I have any hobbies besides collecting records. Yeah, I mean, I really like to make cocktails and come up with new cocktails and mix. I like gaming. I like board gaming. I used to like to paint little figures. I like to cook. I wish I knew more. I wish I was a better cook though. I don't really feel that great. Daniel, that's a great idea. Yes, I do want to review the rest of the King Gizzard albums that came out this year. What are my thoughts on Devo? My thoughts on Devo is I like about half of their songs. The other half just drive me nuts. They just get a little too heady. I saw them live a couple years ago at the Greek Theater, and like some songs are amazing, and other songs I'm just like, you're killing me. I don't get it. So yeah, I have a love-hate with them. I love Leonard Cohen. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite song lyric. I haven't heard any of Roger Waters' solo stuff. Oh, cool. AI Cool 1 says I'm the reason they got into vinyl records. That's awesome, man. You're welcome. Why haven't we seen any prank videos? Is that really cool anymore? I don't know, man. Cause I don't know, that's not my nature. I don't like to do comedy that is at the expense of someone else. I prefer to be self-deprecating, or that the person is in on the joke with me. What does my wife think about my channel? Oh, she's totally supportive, and she's been on an episode or two in the past. And yeah, she's 100% behind me doing this. What kind of cameras do I use? I use Canon DSLRs. I have an 80D, I have a 60D, and a 5D. It's a Mark II though, so it's one of the older ones. Oh, Leonard, of course, I knew your name was familiar. Oh, perfect, so I will just reply back to you. Your email always comes with an X in the who it's from. Yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah, great job on that. I can't wait to hear the rest of it. Is there a fictional character that I can relate to? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I really relate to Han Solo, man. Cool, Oliver. I like that idea. Sort of the talk about a band as a whole as opposed to one particular album. The highs and lows, sort of like the best to worst. I like that. I like that. Tim, no, she's not really a vinyl geek herself, but I buy her records. She has a record player. I buy her all the Prince records I can find. That's her favorite artist. Alonso asks about doing Highway 61 Revisited. Yeah, I should. I need to talk about that album. Yeah, I have quite a few Queen albums. I did one of my earliest episodes I did at the opera. Yeah, I've been to Europe a number of times. I recently just got back from Europe. Why Han Solo? I mean, he's just like such a cool guy, right? I mean, I guess the older you get, the more you kind of relate to him. I mean, he's just, you know, he has integrity, but he also just wants to get the job done. Get in and get out. And he's just a cool guy, and he's like a rogue figure, does his own thing, he's got a cool space dog as a friend. Oliver, I'm mid-30s, yeah, I'm 35. Tom asks, where in Europe have I been? I've been to, well, I don't know, is the UK considered Europe? I don't know. Yeah, I've been to the UK, been to France, been to Italy, been to Greece. Greece is technically part of the European Union, right? Where else? That's kind of it. Yeah, that's kind of it. I've had layovers in different countries, but I don't count that. My favorite Star Wars movie, Empire Strikes Back's really good. Oh, thank you. Loth Vader 6. Where have I been to London? Yeah, but man, this was years ago. I was in high school, so I haven't been in a long time. I want to go back. Breaking Sloth asks about my favorite album of the year. I don't have one yet. I will definitely work on that for December. Yeah, I love Blade Runner, man. Cool. Okay, so UK is part of Europe. All right. I mean, I thought so, but they're still on the pound, so I'm like, what? And they're breaking away from the unions. Oh, I don't know. How many vinyl records do I own? At least 2,000. I have to have 2,000 now. I have to. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I like Rush, Alonso. Yeah, I haven't listened to all their records, so I can't say I have a favorite. What do I think about there being different versions of albums, like the Beatles having different albums in the UK and Canada? And yeah, I mean, it was a product of its time. It made sense at the time to have different records for different markets, but it makes it frustrating as a listener, especially with the Beatles growing up, realizing that you were listening to the wrong versions of albums. Yeah. Yeah, Foster the People. I've checked them out. They don't really excite me that much, but yeah, I hear they're great. Yeah, Franz Ferdinand has a new album out. Yeah, they should be cool. Cool, Leonard. Thanks. I look forward to hearing more of your music. Which album would otherwise be perfect if it didn't have that one song? Oh. That's a good question. I'll have to come back to that one. Jeez. Man, another shooting in Texas. That's awful. Pickle Rick, will I review The Wall by Pink Floyd? Definitely. That is on my agenda. Yeah, I do like The Who. I do like The Who. I'm going to refresh the chat real quick. Just waiting for the chat to respond here. Have I ever been afraid to post? Whoa. Been to post something because of. That guy with the spoon's ass. Have I ever been afraid to post something because of bad feedback or copyright strikes? No, not really. No, I'm not. Sometimes I've had to re-upload because of copyright strikes, but no. If I could choose to be a member of any band, which band would I choose? I'd probably be in the Beatles, man. Just to like know how all that stuff went down, and just to be like in a stadium full of people and you can't hear a thing other than screaming, like that would just be crazy. Will I review Tom Petty? Yeah, man. I need to do a tribute for him. That's so sad. What are my thoughts on these terror attacks? I don't want to go down that pipe hole. That doesn't. It's sad, man. It's senseless. It's senseless violence, and it's a bummer. People were needlessly killed. Yes, I love Harry Nilsson. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite drummer. Traveling Wilburys are awesome. I love the idea that was even created. I think that they're such a fun thing. So what? Okay. Vader6 asks, what's more important to you when buying vinyl in stores or on Discogs? The quality of the sleeves or the quality of the media vinyl? What's more important? Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say a quality pressing. If it came in like a flimsy jacket, I don't care. As long as the vinyl is good and it's not completely warped, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, these questions are getting a little repetitive. Yeah, it happens though on a long stream. It's going to happen, Olson. Where did I find Heroes by David Bowie? I think I got that as part of a Goodwill auction, I think is where I got it. I think. Do I listen to classical? Not really. I don't. Any thoughts on Sparks? I'm not familiar. I should check them out. Yeah. Yeah, I am hungry. Thank you, Oliver. What do I think about Third Man Record pressings? I think Jack White is doing amazing stuff with his Third Man Records. I saw a tested video where Adam Savage recorded to acetate and then pressed that to vinyl. I think it's awesome. I really appreciate what he's doing and the fact that they can produce it, you can see it being made, and then you can pick it up and buy it. I think that's great. I would love to go there at some point. Yeah, I think after this side's done, I'm gonna have to head out. I'm about 20 minutes over what I expected to do, but I really appreciate you guys watching. And if you're just tuning in and you haven't heard it, one of the reasons I'm doing the live stream is to get a bead on what you guys like and don't like about the channel. I did a survey. There's a link in a card as well as down in the description below. It's a Google Doc. It's pretty easy to fill out. Just, just do the bare minimum. It should only take a couple minutes. I will really appreciate it. Can I do some cooking with the geek? Oh man, that means I have to build a kitchen. Oh, hello, what was that? What, blah, 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 where are we here? What do you think of compilations or greatest hits albums? For certain artists, especially artists who kind of were only really putting out singles, I think they're a great way to get a lot of music by them, especially artists in the 40s and 50s. That's a great way to do that. Because honestly, the albums in that era were really just compilations of singles anyway. With older artists, newer artists, I think it's kind of a disservice. You miss out on an album experience. I think definitely something like the Beatles, you should really listen to like Sgt. Pepper's as opposed to like, one of their best ofs. Oh, no way, Mr. David 42 used to hang out at Big Al's. That's awesome. Did you, was that your record store? Okay, Adrian, you want me to do another 360 spin? All right, I'll do that. Hang on one second. I gotta flip my audio recorder around. I'm gonna set that there. All right. Give me 1 second. Here we go. I don't really have it lit, so just bear that in mind. There's the chair where I sit. There is the part that needs to be fixed up. Almost lost the audio recorder there. Coming around, you'll start seeing the bar. And here we are coming back around. Whoa. Let me plug this back in real quick. You're very welcome, Leonard. I'll be in touch with you later. Favorite Beatles album? I mean, I really love the White Album. You just put Stage on your turntable. It's a great album. Who does Stage? What's the long picture on the wall? That is girls, I think, at a Beatle concert. I think I got it right. Yeah. Yeah, so these were actually, Josh had these printed up. You got Morrissey, you got the girls. Mick and, well, you know who the other guy is. I'm blanking right now. Sorry, I need to eat. And Johnny Cash, obviously. Oh, Stages. Oh, I didn't know that one. Thank you, Davey. I didn't realize he had another live album from that era. Jack, I would recommend look at players that are in the $200 range to $250 range. That is going to be, I think that's going to be a good place to find a new record player. But I like the Audio-Technica LP120. I like U-Turn Orbit record player. I like, I think Riga puts out a good one. I think they're moderately priced. You can find a decent one. I would pick a belt-driven turn. Well, I don't know. I like belt-driven, but direct drive can work too. I really like, one of my favorite movies is Big Trouble in Little China. Would I go back in time or go into the future? Actually, you know what? I'm a big Star Trek guy. I would love to see the future. I don't know. That could be depressing or really awesome. Either or. Yeah, so the record is almost over. I'm gonna head out very soon because I am starving. I need to eat some lunch. It is 2:30 p.m. where I am. And yeah. Okay, Marcel. So Marcel asks what my plans are for the channel. Nothing major is gonna change. I just want to hone it in. I want to make it a little bit more streamlined, and I really want to know what you guys want to see as viewers, because I don't want to be spending a lot of time on something that you don't really want to watch when I could be spending that time on an in-depth album review, which is, I believe, what most of you want to see. So, Marcel, if you could take some time, maybe a couple minutes, to go to my Google Docs survey. There's a link in the card up above, as well as down in the description below. And you just click on there, fill out a few questions, rate a few segments, and then you'll be good. And if you want, you can write a little bit more in depth about what you'd like to see and any other feedback you have. And that would help out a ton. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you all for who have stuck it out this whole time. And even if some of you have gone away and come back, that's awesome too. I really appreciate it. I love chatting with you guys. I will definitely make this more of a regular thing. I'll try to schedule it so you guys will know in advance when these things are happening. I think that worked out well this time. And I can't wait to dive in and check out all of your responses. It is just been a wealth of information. So I really, really appreciate it. I had over 200 responses, which is way more than I expected. So yeah, 222. So that's awesome. Thank you very much. I am going to sign off. You guys have a great rest of Sunday, if it's Sunday where you are, or have a great Monday wherever you may be. All right, guys, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.